As we are back, Third Eye Truth Theory Podcast, episode 91. I'm the host, James Gill. This is my co-host, Joe Hill.
That's me.
Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. We thank you for joining us once again on a Wednesday night, May 28th, 2025, downtown St. Joseph, Michigan.
It's my mom's birthday.
Is it really?
Yeah, happy birthday, Mom.
All right.
Is that the first time you wish her happy birthday?
No.
Oh, okay, good. Just making
You'd
sure.
be a horrible son if you did that.
I gave her cards. One of the cards says, "Hey, Mom, let's go get stoned. I mean, grab a bottle of wine and act classy."
What?
It did.
Never mind.
The card said, "Hey, Mom, let's go get stoned."
The card said
the
that.
card said, "Hey, Mom, let's go get stoned. I mean, grab a bottle of wine and let's be classy." She's a stoner. I'm a wino.
Sorry, if you give it to her.
Yeah. No.
I'm not. Never mind.
Not from me.
Anyway, guys.
Maybe from
Anyway.
from her other brother.
From our other brother. All right, guys. We're getting. We have another podcast. We have a guest tonight, Scudder. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. Give you a couple of air horns and some clapping. All right. Robbie is the head distiller of the Round Barn.
Round Barn Distillery,
Yeah,
winery,
Round-
distillery,
You're
brewery.
right.
Brewery.
Yeah,
Was all right? Was all
Have
right?
you
there?
not been there?
I've been there a few times.
Okay, then why'd you not know
I
how to
just-
say it?
Don't remember the name. Oh, and sometimes I forget. Yeah. Human error.
Jesus.
Sorry about that.
How did
But
you forget
thank
this
you for
shit?
joining the show, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Appreciate you. Now,
Ooh, can I ask?
well, yeah, go ahead,
Can I
Joe.
ask?
You've been waiting. It's like a Christmas present, Joe.
No, actually, I'm kind of curious. How did you become the head distiller at Round Barn? Because that is a big place to be known as.
Yeah. So I started there as a summer job back in 2008.
Summer job.
A summer job. I was mowing, spraying grapes.
Wait a minute, you were in.
I started on the ground. I
Outside.
started out in the vineyard.
Yeah.
I got to help bottle here and there in the cellar. One of the cool stories is the first week I started there, we were doing divine vodka bottles. We were bottling them, and so on the back we were hand labeling all the bottles. And the owner came in. He's like, "Yeah, you can sign your own signature on the first few." So we did that. I think we did probably 2,000 or 3,000 bottles total.
with your signature on it.
No, I only had. Then we switched over and started doing owners and other, the sons' names and stuff. And so we. My buddy found one of those bottles in Kalamazoo at a liquor store and bought it for me.
Oh, that's awesome.
He gave it to
Wait,
you.
you didn't get to keep one?
No, I don't even know if I was 21 at that time.
I would hop to the side and say, "Hey, someone keep this for me, or buy this for me, or something." Because
Yeah.
after doing 2,000 of them, signing away, I would want one.
He got one though.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, no. Hey, the thing about it, my buddy gave it to me for a wedding gift, and it was
Oh,
empty.
that's
It was
cool as
empty.
It was,
He's straight up. I was going to say, man, he's a cool guy.
Yeah.
man.
I don't know, at
It's
least,
empty.
at least being filled up back with water and say,
I
"Here you
know.
go."
I can always refill it myself.
Yeah.
No, but
I know the guy
Oh.
who makes it. So,
That's
You
funny
know
as hell,
the
man.
guy.
so
Shit.
I did that as a summer job. I had one more year of school left. I went back, finished my degree, came back. Matt, my boss, thought I was kind of using it as a transition job into my degree, which is photojournalism. I really wanted to work newspapers. Sports photography was kind of my
Oh, that's
passion.
cool.
So I was there for a few months. I started doing a lot of the cellar work. And he's like, "Hey, the assistant winemaker position's open." And back then, when I started, we only had like 22 full-time employees. So it's much different company than.
Yeah.
Than now.
It way is. It way is.
Oh, it's huge.
huge
We're over
now.
like 200
Yep.
full-time with the
Wow.
restaurants and Tabor Hill too.
Oh, we'll get back. We'll get on that.
Yeah, we'll get there. So I started doing that. It was 2010, working harvest, working grapes, smashing, we weren't stomping on them with our feet. But so I was
That's what he always thought.
pretty much making all the wine and we were doing a little bit of distilling, not a lot. We're just doing vodka, rum, bourbon, just enough for the tasting rooms kind of thing. And then in 2014, they approached me about wanting to make a craft distillery. And so they offered me a position to run the distillery, and away I went.
There you
So,
go.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
That is awesome. Is that because you were doing something way before any of that? You were also. I'll jump into it.
All right.
Yeah, you're also before because and probably in that gap year, you were semi-pro racing.
I wouldn't call it semi-pro. Well, I was making some money doing it, mostly to cover costs. But so actually at that time in 2010, I'd just gotten my first motorcycle, and I fell in love with bikes. That's one of the photography things I did too, is I actually started taking pictures of the local motorcycle groups in Grand Rapids just to make friends in the motorcycle community to like help me find a bike.
Right.
So the process, I sold one of my first cars. I sold that to get a quad because I knew the quad would actually be easier to sell. Rode the quad for like a year, and then I sold that and bought my first bike. And so up in Grand Rapids, there's a track called Groton, just out in Belding near there. And a bunch of my buddies they go do track days. And so we were going down to North Carolina the week in between me moving from Grand Rapids to start my job at Round Barn. We went down there to the Deals Gap, Tail of the Dragon, amazing mountain roads. And they're like, all right, you should do a track day before you go down there. These
That's
roads
in Tennessee, right?
Yeah, part of it's in Tennessee, part of it's in North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I went down there like,
wait a minute, how did you know that?
I have my ways, Joe. I've done research. I didn't know, but I've heard of it.
Wait a minute, how
I've
did
heard
you
of it.
know
it's
that?
gorgeous. You think there's twisty roads here? There's nothing compared to down there.
My ex has a Harley, and her dad and they both went down to Tennessee and ride the Tail Drag. So
okay, that makes more sense.
and I was like, wow.
Oh,
It's really popular.
Bunch of curves.
Well,
and
the
all that
Tail of the
stuff.
Dragon itself is like a 12-mile road,
Yeah.
and it's got 300 and something turns in it.
Yeah.
And it's only 35 mile an hour, and you can't really get going faster than that. It's so tight. But that place, I would have to say it sees over 1,000 motorcycles a day going through there. Yeah. So I did a track day just to prep, like, all right, figure out what I'm actually doing with twisty roads. So we went down there, came back, started getting into that track day thing a little bit. And one of my buddies, good friend of mine still today, this day, John, he was like, hey, you're getting pretty quick. What are you doing with these lap times? And so I was like, no, all right, I guess I'm fast. So I started, I crashed that bike on the track, realized I kind of like outrode its capabilities, bought a bigger, faster bike, realized that was the wrong direction, and went and just bought a track bike, an SV650 track bike, slow, but you had to learn how to corner fast. And that bike is what got me where I was with racing.
So with the whole, I was saying this earlier, you were gone. I was kind of curious. You're going how fast?
So the top speed I ever saw was 175,
and
that I could actually look down at the speedo and then look back up.
Then when you're going around the curve or a turn, you're
depends how long or wide the turn is, but 120, 130 in turns.
Listen to that shit.
Mm-hmm. Neon,
that's nice.
Knee on the ground, dragging elbow.
And you got a pad on a metal pad, isn't it?
No, they're plastic pucks. Yeah, so they slide.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's
Does that make you nervous?
Yeah.
Driving that fast?
No.
Dude, that's
that'd be fun.
Total adrenaline rush. Right
that'd be fun, but man,
I became a junkie real quick for it, and pretty much from 2010 to 2018, like that's all I wanted to do. My wife was not very happy. We got married in 2014, and all of our travels and vacations were to racetracks. So I've been to New Orleans, Savannah, Georgia. The first time I went to Savannah, well, I've never seen Savannah. I've been there 3 times to race and never actually seen the town of Savannah, because you buzz in, you race, and you buzz out.
So when you do take your wife on these trips, does she go out and watch you, or does she cruise the town and see the sights and say, "No, racing"?
She stayed at the track.
She stayed at the track too?
Supportive. Yeah, we made a lot of friends because it's kind of like this traveling circus.
Oh,
I was racing a national series, and it's called ARMA. It was mostly historical bikes, but they had some big
but still
modern bike classes. But we made really good friends. We would kind of hop town to town with them, and you kind of turned into family and stuff. It was a lot of fun.
Dude, that's awesome. Actually, that has to be an adrenaline rush.
It is. I can imagine. I've never ridden a motocross bike, or anybody that's fast.
But that's more of a
There's a crotch rocket, a super bike.
Super bike.
Yeah. So by the end,
it's like a Busa.
So by the end of it, I was on a BMW S1000, which is a 200 horsepower sport bike, and that's the bike I saw 175 on. That little SV couldn't get there. But
Yeah, it's like a big giant Busa, pretty much.
The boosters are more like straight line bikes.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, saying that how
horsepower
the
wise.
horsepower wise, and I always look at the body shape of it.
Yeah.
It's built like that.
Yep.
You ever see
So
this?
so when you buy these bikes, you buy them at like the stock rate, and then build them up?
My first 2 race bikes were pre-built race bikes. Like somebody had already bought them and done the work.
Oh yeah,
Is that- that's my picture. Yeah. And then by the end of it in 2016, I got sponsored by a dealership out of Grand Rapids, BMW Motorcycles of GR, and they gave me a brand new 2016 S1000 off the showroom floor.
Holy shit!
So I was down here in March doing the break-in on it. And one of the guys I was working out at Round Barn, I get out of work and I put on Carhartts. He's like, they give you a fancy brand new $18,000 bike and they can't even buy you gear. I was like, I don't have street gear. I sold all my street gear to race. Yeah,
So, do you still ride
I do. I have just a cruiser right now.
the cruiser?
I don't get much time on it because of family and stuff. I'm always toting a kid around. So.
Yeah.
No crotch rocking anymore.
I do have one race bike, but it's at a buddy's in Grand Rapids. I lent it to him
Does
to
that make you
rebuild
mad riding the cruiser?
I hate it. I can't stand that sitting back. You know, the
Making a lot of
yeah. But
noise.
if I had a sport bike up here, I'd get in a lot of trouble.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
you know, because the first time I came back from the Dragon, my brother and he had a sport bike at the time. We went out riding, and we were doing some farm roads out in like Sodus, Eau Claire. And we went into a corner and I went blowing by him, dragging knee through the corner. And I probably scared the crap out of him. I was like, I'm ready to go fast. Let's go.
I don't know.
Yeah.
My cousin, I always will tell the story, and he always tells the story too, is he worked out of Kalamazoo and driving from Kalamazoo back here all the time. All of a sudden, he's on a crotch rocket. I think he had a Ninja at the time. And you know how some of those you can set little cruise control on. So he's there and the vibration of it and working all the time. All of a sudden, he put his head down like this and passed out, but kept the bike up because once you're just like that and fast you're going, you can keep the bike up until
it kind of rides itself as long as there's no turns.
Yeah, it was a straight shot on 94. So all of a sudden he said he was passed out for a good 5-10 minutes just riding, and all of a sudden he was and just riding. And
that's a long time, you know.
Yeah, I know. That's what he said.
That's a fucking long time.
Yeah.
Dude.
So he walks up
5 to 10 minutes on a bike, passed out.
Yeah, he was sleeping out because of the vibration and everything else. But now he went from that to a Harley. So he was like, I don't know if I could do this. This Joe, this Harley shit. I'm just leaning back and just, this sucks. I'm not going fast,
and Harleys aren't fast from the factory either. So you're missing a lot of that power and the fun stuff.
Yeah.
So he was looking at it. I'm thinking, but I'm getting older. It's gonna hurt. My back hurts after leaning like that sometimes. And he says, I had to do it. I said, good for you though, but man, I couldn't start off with a crotch rocket.
I did.
It's built for speed. That's all.
They are.
If you want speed, if you want the speed, you go for the crotch rocket.
Yeah, that's exactly what people do.
I know, but it's amazing though.
You ever been on a bike? I mean, drove a bike?
No.
Closest
motocross.
Dirt bike.
Closest?
Yeah, that's closest. I mean, as a regular bike.
Riding a bike.
Riding a bike is a dirt bike, motocross bike. Yeah.
I have a dirt bike too right now. Yeah. So I bought a buddy's. So we used to race on the ice, where we'd stud the tires and go out and it's like flat track racing. So we would go out in 450s and blast around the ice.
Where?
North of Grand Rapids.
Is that frozen? That
big? Ponds.
Yeah. Ponds, lakes, rivers.
Would you do that, James?
That's intriguing.
It's so much fun. It's the most fun. It's the most fun you can have on 2 wheels.
That sounds like it is fun.
I don't know if I could do it.
My buddy took me up to
Dude, I'd be scared shitless.
He was letting me race his bike. He took me up to Cadillac because they were hosting the American AMA Nationals up there. And I first year ever ice riding, I got my butt beat.
How's the water?
I don't know. It was frozen.
Yeah. That's what you were worried about.
I only saw 1 or 2 people ever fall through, and that was because there was like a stream that came into the lake, and it was like a little brittle near shore, and everybody said stay away from that area, and they didn't listen, and they weren't going fast.
Yeah,
they're just cruising back.
It's
over
like
where we're parking.
watching snowmobiles at Nimby Pond and they go in the water.
Yeah.
Well, if you go fast enough, you can slide right over that thing.
Well, yeah, that's the point of Nimby Pond. And when they have the race, but
with the winners that we have now, I'll be a little worried about that.
Yeah.
But
one race we went over to Wisconsin, did an endurance race, like I think it's 3 hours on the ice, and they make up this crazy like 20-mile track.
oh, shit.
And it was really warm that day, and there was parts of it that had standing water on top, and every time you went through it, you're like you cringe, you're like, ah.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's ice under that.
He says, "Hope there's ice underneath."
20-mile track. So how many times do we have to go around that?
Twice.
I think we made 6 laps
Six
total
laps,
or something. Yeah. Each person did
It
2.
was what, 3
hours.
3
Yep.
hours. Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's us picturing me thinning the ice down with the spikes and everything else. How many people were racing?
it was probably 150.
That's
or
even
so.
worse.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about that is they were plowing the track as we were riding. So all of a sudden you roll up on the back of a Can-Am with the plow down, and you're like, it was a mess.
That's
They
even
had
worse.
pickup trucks out there plowing while you're doing it too. And
Dude, I could do it.
mhm.
That's a. What else have you been big? So you like adrenaline? Have
Yeah.
you done anything else wild and crazy?
Oh man. So I grew up doing all the extreme sports, BMX bikes, skate parks, all of that, the X Games thing, snowboarding.
Yeah.
I was big into the adrenaline stuff, but my main focus growing up and through high school and college was soccer. So I played, that's not the adrenaline side,
That's
but
not really adrenaline. But
no,
I'll
it's
go
a
with
different,
it.
it's a different adrenaline. Yeah. But no, I was racing motorcycles. I got that from my brother. He used to race karts, go-karts, and then
Yeah.
he was big into
He
the race
did.
cars and stuff. Yeah. And so
Always
that's
thought
where I
that was
got like my
intriguing.
first time around racetracks was with him.
I always thought that would be a fun thing to do. Race go-karts.
Race go-karts?
Fuck yeah, those things will.
It's not like the ones you get out of like Hidden Point.
Yeah,
or-
I was going to say. I was
these
like,
things,
man, I dominate those.
these things rip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, those go about what, 50?
No, some of them go over 100
Wow.
easily, like the shifter carts. His wasn't a shifter, but they're fast
But
and they're
you were-
quick, and they turn on a dime.
But you guys also did roller skate.
Yes,
racing and stuff
yeah,
like
so
that.
we
I
started-
remember you guys doing that. I remember him doing that.
Speed skating,
Yeah,
and then
speed skating. That's amazing. The speed skating. You ever
Mm.
watch anybody speed skate?
Speed skate? No, I haven't. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Like the Olympic-
Maybe I have.
but
Maybe
like
I
the
have.
like the Olympics, Apollo,
Oh, yeah,
that kind of thing.
yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but this
roller
was on
skates.
wheels.
Where they're really low.
Yep.
Yeah, when they're
so-
on wheels though.
We started on the wheels, and then me and one other guy from the area moved to ice,
Yeah.
and we did ice for a few years.
You
Went
did
to-
ice?
Yeah, went to a couple nationals
Holy
on
shit.
that. Yeah.
God, you are a big streamer.
I was
Damn.
any sport you can think of, I've probably tried.
Extreme sports is your
Mm.
deal.
Rugby?
No, I never. There's no rugby around the
I
area.
need to
No,
find,
that's something we were talking
I need to find
about last
something.
episode.
Yeah, I know. I need to
We're
find.
going to
something
talk
rugby.
about, yeah.
I need to find someone who really does really.
Last
good
guest was
rugby.
a rugby player, and
He said he was a rugby player. He wasn't.
we
that
never
big.
talked about it though. We
I
never
know,
got to it.
He wasn't really that big though.
I got
I'm
accused-
picturing a big, tall rugby.
I got
dude.
accused of being a rugby player once, but I was like, I can't back that up.
Oh man,
So-
those guys are tough.
That's amazing. So far you've done a lot of stuff. How old are you?
Mhm. 38. Sorry, I had
38.
to think about that. I just turned 38.
38 years old. Still does a lot of more
Mhm.
extreme stuff.
One of the coolest ones before we move on from the motorcycles I want to share is that have you ever seen sidecar racing?
Oh, with a bike. car.
Yeah,
No, I haven't seen
these
that.
are like they're not like you see in the old war movies.
Yeah.
So I got to be a passenger on race as a passenger on a sidecar. It was
How-
one of the coolest
How'd that
experiences.
go?
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Dude,
And,
that'd
but,
be kind of fun. I would do
but
that.
you're dancing around on this thing. You're a counterweight basically the
Yeah.
whole time.
Oh,
And-
let's see.
But you're moving on this small platform at 100 plus miles an hour. And so
What
and
do
the
you mean,
driver's just
What do you mean platform? There's not a cart?
it's like a platform, and then you have a fairing that covers
That's
your
it?
yeah, and that you can slip right out the back. So
That's what I'm picturing right now.
yeah,
Wait a minute.
I'll show you a picture. I got pictures.
But
But I
right now.
so I got to race for a guy. I was down racing in Alabama, Barber Motorsports Park, and this guy's like, my passenger's not here. Anybody can ride. Well, I've done it before at Road America in Wisconsin. And so they're like, yeah, Robbie will jump on. I jump on with him. Come to find out, he was a former. Have you ever heard of the Isle of Man TT?
No.
So it's an island north of England called the Isle of Man. It's the greatest motorcycle race in the world. It's a 30-mile course around the island. They shut the island down for a week. It's going on right now, actually.
Really?
And there's guys on super bikes doing 200 plus around this island.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And he had raced the Isle of Man as a driver. And so we get done with the weekend, we win our races, and he's like, hey, you want to race the Isle of Man with me? I'm like, well, I had just gotten married like 2 years before that. I was like, I don't know if I want to die. He's like, don't worry, we'll start with Pikes Peak. Like, I don't know if I want to die. So actually, it was 2015 because 16 I didn't race with that group anymore. I raced in a different race organization, and he kept calling me that all that year. He's like, you can be at this race. You can be at this race. I was like, I'm not. I'm racing over at this other racing series. I'm like, why do you keep asking me to race with you? He's like, well, my partner keeps tapping out. I was like, what's that mean? And he's like, exactly. Apparently, if he's going too fast, you can tap his leg and he'll slow down. I didn't know that. He had me Supermaning off the side of the cart.
Oh man,
I've muscled my way back on. This is down at Barber the first time I rode with him, and he looks over because we power slid through a corner because I wasn't in the right spot. I'm just Superman, and I thumbs up like go.
How do you thumbs up when you're still Superman?
One arm. We're good. Let's go. So
wow,
yeah, that was probably one of the coolest 3-wheel experiences I've ever had.
Wow.
All right, I'll ask this question because I'm kind of curious. What extreme thing that you still want to do before
I've never skydived.
you want to?
I would love to skydive.
So do I.
I'd like to base.
See, he's done
You've done it.
He's done skydiving. I haven't.
It's one of those things where like I've probably had the opportunity to do it. I've just never sought it out because like I don't.
He tells me the story he went skydiving. I don't believe.
Oh man, dude, 14,000 feet in the air is just something different about it because you don't realize how small you are
until you're up there.
Yeah, until you're up there,
and without a plane around you.
Yeah, and then, dude, I was the first one to go out, and this guy, we were tandems, of course.
Yeah.
On count of 3, we're gonna go 1, 2, and we flip out at 2.
It's so you don't have time to grab on 3.
I was ready to go, but he's like 1, 2, and I was like, and then all you see is the plane ground. Then you flatten out, and then you getting yourself balanced, right? And he puts on the camera on his wrist and
takes a picture,
filming the whole thing. But my ears popped really bad, and that was the thing right there that threw me off because when we landed, my equilibrium was off. So I was just walking and falling as I got out. But it was a definite.
Would you do it again?
I would do it again. Yeah.
Let's go.
I would do it.
Yeah, I'll go with you.
I'll do earplugs and the whole 9 yards.
Dude, I'm dying to jump out of a plane.
It's something serious, man. It's just like when you see it, you're like, okay, here we go.
Actually, I had a chance to go. I have a chance to go this year on July 19th.
Yeah.
But I can't. I'm in the bowling tournament in Chicago.
Well, you got to give up something.
Yeah.
I already paid the money for that bowling tournament.
Give up something.
I already paid the money for the bowling tournament. I'm going to
I want to, I guess I would see. That's the problem though, is I would want to do it so much that I would want to like get certified to wingsuit.
Yeah.
You know, like those things. I have such a hard time with like doing something and being done with it. Like,
see, I would want to not jump tandem. I'd rather take extra classes and extra jump.
Well, you have to do a lot of classes.
I know.
Like 4 or 5. You have to do
like a month.
It's like 20 plus jump too, tandem.
And I don't want to go tandem because this guy behind me might die, and I still have to pull my own cord. So.
No. Don't see that. You're just thinking of the weirdest shit.
I always think like that. I do. I want to go tandem. I don't want to go tandem because this guy might die.
That's something I would.
Yeah. Have you seen those videos of the guys that do the proximity flying along the?
And they just fly.
So cool. Through the mountains.
Yeah.
It's like a squirrel.
Yeah.
Like a flying squirrel.
I think speed flying would be cool too. That's with that parachute, but you're flying.
Yeah.
Like you see those guys going to the caverns and stuff.
Oh man, dude, that
and then you put your arms down and all you go faster.
So that'd be crazy, man. That's something that I would love to try to do that.
With all this stuff, how does your wife feel about it?
She likes keeping her feet on the ground a little bit. She's all for adventure. No, she's all for adventure, but she's more international travel. She has a passion for Central America. She lived in Guatemala for a little bit in school, and so we've been there
traveling for her.
She likes the beaches, but she's up for a good time of a little adrenaline.
Would she jump out of the plane?
I think so.
Sweet.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
She'd do it with me.
I think it'd be awesome. I think everybody should at least experience once jumping out.
I did that. And no, not to mention that, as I was jumping out, my ex was like, I love you. I was like, oh, that's a good time to take that down. Your ass. What do you think? I'm gonna die?
She was like, goodbye.
See you later.
Good thing I have good life insurance.
But that was one of the most intense things I've done, and I want to do some more stuff. So
that's the most intense.
You ever been like rock climbing?
You know what? I wouldn't be opposed to that.
That's another experience. That's
Have you done
awesome.
it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've only done I've done a lot of gym climbing when I was in college and stuff, but I've been out to Colorado rock climbing. I have a buddy
Okay.
who lives out
Yeah.
there.
I haven't done that
It's
extreme. I've done rock climbing, but not that extreme.
when you get up on a face and you're like, I've got nowhere to go but up,
Yeah.
or down on the rope. But it's just like, and then the place we climbed was like in a huge valley and a highway down below.
Yeah.
And so we had to like traverse up to an area to get to the face. And that was like intense climbing just getting there. And then when you're up there, you're looking down at these cars that look like they're micro machines down there.
Yeah.
And it's another experience.
This guy's done a lot.
There's a lot of extreme stuff. So much stuff out there to do, man. You would be surprised what you could do as far as
all the shit I've done extreme. He just like
it topped you
like
100 times.
100 times. I'm not trying to be a one-upper. You asked me.
He just flips it away. Everything I think in my head. Everything I had. Whatever.
Get out of here.
Nope. Side. Oop, that's gone.
Been there, done it.
I mean, I drag raced before, in my life, but I was on the main road and the car wouldn't get over. So what did I do? I went over this way and the car was coming at me. Got over in this car.
You were playing chicken?
Pretty much with the car in front of me, yeah.
Oh, that's extreme too, man.
But it's not as bad as anything what he just does. No.
See, that's why I went to the racetrack though, is all the stupid people in cars and then trees and mailboxes and all that stuff.
It's out of the way.
I've had friends die on the road and it was one of those. Once I started riding on the track, it was sell the street bikes. All my money was going to the racing anyway, so I couldn't keep a street bike back.
Would you ever go to finish with the street racing type stuff, but with racing bikes, straightaways, just straight.
The drag strip?
Yeah, the drag strip.
Boring.
That's what I'm saying. Opinion. For someone like you that does the whole curve and the road courses pretty much.
Yeah, I've done it. It's just so short too, and it's like you do all this prep work for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
We used to take the bikes there just to practice starts and that kind of stuff. I had a buddy who had the same guy who got me into the track racing and stuff. He had a 9-second Hayabusa with NOS on it and everything. I never got to ride that, but yeah.
A booster with NOS.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
So what's the toughest track you've ever been on?
So
I know we want to get out of the
it's fine. I love racing. I miss it so much. But probably one of the toughest track, the one in Grand Rapids, it's not well known, but if I credit a lot of my success in the national championships and stuff that I won to racing at Gingerman and Groton, those two Michigan tracks, because Gingerman was really tough because it was a car track. And then there was a lot of cracks and bumps and stuff. And if you learn to race through that, you can race at any bumpy track ever. And then Groton is 11 out of the 13 turns are blind. And so if you can, commit to lines and learn that, you can go to any place that has one or two blind turns and you're good, but I never got to race Indy. I pit crewed for a pro team at Indy. That was an amazing place to get out and kiss the bricks. And,
so you pit crewed for him?
Yeah. So I was like the guy changing tires, making sure the bike.
500?
No, he was racing motorcycle, the pro stuff at Indy.
You say how you kissed the.
We got to do a track walk. I went out there and kissed the bricks. You got to when you're standing on the bricks.
Yeah, definitely.
But Road America is probably one of the coolest ones. That's the biggest history track that I've ever been to. It's massive. It's a national park of speed, they call it, and it's huge. 4 miles. You can't see any parts of the racetrack from one part.
Yeah.
And the coolest one that I've raced at with the most history would be there. So.
I'm scrolling things out.
Is this your first time?
No, I went. Oh, damn it! I went too far.
I take that back. One of the cool tracks I did was Mossport in Canada. It's over near Toronto. That's another huge history track. But that was a cool one.
How is that history track?
A lot of racing history on it. It's known as Mossport, even though it's changed names 100 times. We went and raced a Canadian race series over there to do, and I had a sponsor take me over there on their bike, and dude, it was a really cool experience. And the safety guidelines in Canada for racetracks is way different. Runoff, hay bales, those kind of things versus what you see in the U.S. So,
I actually now you said hay bales. I gotta ask. Have you ever fallen off?
Have I, or how many times?
Both.
I've they say it's not when, it's if, or not if, it's when you're gonna crash. And oh yeah, I've had probably 10 or more on the racetrack.
Really?
Oh yeah. But
how fast were you going when you fall off?
The fastest crash I had was probably 120, 130.
Didn't break,
I went over.
Didn't break anything?
No, I went over the bars. What's crazy on that one is it just started to rain and we weren't on rain tires. And so I go onto the front straightaway. This is in New Jersey. And back end slid out. And all of a sudden I'm looking at the front tire, feet above me.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, this is going to hurt.
You're doing the scorpion.
And time slows down when you're in that position. All of a sudden, it's like, it felt like I was in the air for 5 minutes.
I actually understand that.
Hit the ground, slid, and all of a sudden, I'm like, it's a very distinct sound when the bike hits the ground. Never heard it. I was like, oh, no, there goes the bike. 130 miles an hour past me, straight through a field, hits the wall, does a flip. We got the bike back together, and I won my next race. So it's, I got lucky. I think I had to I took a sheet of aluminum and hose clamped it to the exhaust because the exhaust just exploded.
No shit.
Yeah.
I do understand when you fall. I didn't know as well as you did. I mean, I ride an electric scooter.
Yeah, I'm sure that's close.
No, I ain't close. I'd say it's not even close, but how you said when you fall, you see it and it goes slow. It is.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I can have that. I don't care. But you do. In my eyes, I planted like this and I'm doing slow motion. Oh shit.
This is gonna hurt.
Yeah.
I did. And I belly flat, man. Instead of me tucking and rolling and getting all scrapes all over my face.
I did belly first.
I did belly first.
You see the little road rash.
And I did I felt I fractured a rib.
Oh,
I just fractured a rib. I didn't break it. I just fractured it, so it hurt for about 3 weeks.
Yeah, dude.
And all of a sudden, I was thinking, I was lying there in the middle of the road down in Lions Park. Oh, that fucking hurt.
Yeah,
that was smart. And I'm just thinking, I'm gonna lie here. No, I need to get up. I'm in the middle of downtown. Let's get up. I got back up and got back on that thing, and it's all bent up a little bit, and rode it back. I'm like, oh, this hurts.
Yeah.
When you're racing on the track, you're sliding because you're in full leathers. But the thing that's scary is you're sliding faster than you realize a lot of time, and you get up and try and run because you don't want anybody to see you. Oh, I crashed. I gotta get back to the bike. Or if you're in the middle of a race, you're like, the bike's good, let's go. And you hit the grass and you're sliding and you're actually building speed.
Yeah.
And you get up and try and run and you just tumble.
I seen that, and I watch a bike racing here and there on TV, and then when they do wreck, you do see that all of a sudden they act like they're getting up, and all of a sudden their legs are moving a little bit.
Fall back down.
Yeah.
Wow. Is that why? I always wondered why.
Because you're going way faster than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I realized that when I did it myself one time. So
yeah.
A scooter.
Fuck yeah, I love my. Now I got a scooter that goes even faster than my first one, and I'm a dumbass for that. Now my new one goes 30 miles per hour.
You better get a fucking helmet.
You need a leather suit.
Yeah. Exactly.
You want to borrow one of my race?
Yes.
Now
I was trying to tell this guy.
My newest scooter can go 70 miles per hour, and it can go 70 miles on a full charge. So
you need a suit.
The fastest so far I've gone so far is 45.
Man, those little wheels that get wobbly.
No, actually, they're 12-inch tires.
Okay. I'm thinking those little, the little rubber ones.
No, mine are dual shocks on both sides and 12-inch tires.
Okay.
Yeah, you would have. Normally he rides it here.
Mm.
You would have seen the chain up outside.
Yeah.
That thing is it's a beast, man.
Dude,
yeah.
Beast.
Still, man, you need a helmet.
Got about a 2-inch lift on it.
You need a suit and a helmet.
I just want gloves and a helmet.
Yeah, you need a helmet.
My helmet's on back order. I'm kind of pissed.
Is it really?
Yeah.
When you put the hat backwards?
Yeah.
You need a helmet.
He's riding in style.
Yeah. I am. I love it. I love it.
I look at those guys that aren't riding with helmets. And it's like, man, if you only knew, like, probably 4 of my crashes, I'd be dead if I didn't have a helmet on. But
yeah.
Now, I went 20 and I fractured a rib. Now I'm going 40 to 50, and I'm thinking to myself, dude, I can hit any not a pothole because I do have dual shocks now. So it's gonna take something.
You know where we live, right?
Yeah.
All right. There's potholes that'll eat that scooter.
I know. Actually, I found one. I found one so far. My 12-inch tire. My 12-inch tire. I saw one. Ooh, that's good.
Yep.
That scooter won't stand a chance, man.
Oh, dude, I love it though. I loved it. Can I count myself extreme on that?
You can try.
They race
Try.
those.
They race.
Really?
Yeah,
They did.
there was some electric race series, scooter series. They went
I'm
on
sure
little,
they went
little like
faster.
go-kart track.
Bonus.
They went fast. I'm pretty sure they went faster. Than
Probably
Actually,
did.
I've seen that actually on the Ocho channel.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
actually.
shit.
And they wear helmets, but they're leaning.
Yeah.
I haven't figured out the leaning
Joe,
because
they're trying to tell you something.
it turns like a motorcycle, so it's
Mhm.
got only good enough turn radius, just like a motorcycle does. So I'm leaning more into it a little bit. So I'm learning.
So are you leaning the scooter in, or you? So the whole idea,
I'm leaning the scooter in.
Okay, so the idea with like motorcycle racing, why they hang off and drag their knee, is to keep the bike upright.
So I don't
Bigger contact patch. So you would hang your body off to keep the scooter up. Yeah.
So you got your body off the knee down.
Should I lean with my scooter? No,
Dude,
actually, I'm standing up. I'm leaning the scooter.
No, you want to lean your body.
Yeah.
Get that center of gravity down there.
All right, I'll try that.
He's gonna be ripping, set up a cone track out in the parking lot.
Dude, that's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna try it.
I'm gonna come watch.
Dude, I'm actually gonna get a Go Cam or wherever and follow it.
Oh,
hell yeah!
There you go, man. Watch. He's gonna fall one of these days. I don't wish that on you, but
thanks, brother. Thanks.
I don't wish it on you, but eventually you're gonna bite one of these days. And
I know the pain, so I don't.
Oh, Joe, where you at? You're doing a podcast. I can't make it.
I'll also make it.
He come in on crutches.
Yeah, crutches with a bubble suit on. Maybe you should have one of those bubble suit. All right, let's get up now.
Is it a bubble suit?
Yeah,
fucking really?
Yeah. Save bubble tape.
I'm done.
Maybe
get off my scooter.
I'm just saying, man. I worry about
it. Goes 70 miles per hour.
I worry about
it. It's fast on that little thing.
Yeah,
this is the same one that this guy rode it in Texas on a highway.
I saw that video.
That's the same.
I thought it was him for a second.
Everybody thought it was me. I'm just getting all these videos. I'm getting all this video. Ding, 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 ding. The same video. I said, why is this you on your scooter? No, ass.
Next week we see him going down 94.
Yeah, I rode on Niles. I ride on Niles down. I rode everywhere so far. I'm doing 4. I'm passing cars. I hear moms and or kids or their friends, dude, you just got passed by a scooter. I said, yeah, I'm also doing 40 on the 25. I can't get in trouble. You can.
Yeah, you can.
No, I can't. I'm in the bike lane. Can't touch
you're in the bike lane? You can't go that fast in the bike lane.
There's nobody else there. I can go until.
I don't know the laws on that.
You're not breaking the law until you get caught, right?
Yes,
I'm not breaking the law at all. I had a cop tell me, thank you. Can't touch
me. All right, Joe. Keep on trucking, man.
All right. Let's try this stuff.
Yes. What do you want to start? Well, start with bourbon. I like bourbon.
Yes, I do too.
All right. So,
all right, guys. We have some few things we're going to be trying tonight.
This is all the stuff you've made.
Yep.
It's all the stuff that you have made personally.
Yes.
See, listen to this, people. He's made all this stuff.
Looks delicious.
And he can fill it out, and he does it all himself. So how?
I'll let you pour. So be generous. So this is you want to talk about what this is?
Yeah.
So this is port barrel finish aged bourbon. So how deep do you want me to go?
Go deep.
Go deep.
Yeah, all right. I have no clue how to make this stuff. So how do you?
So traditional bourbon has to be.
How is that?
Get him a bit. Get the man a bigger pour.
That'd be generous.
No, I meant be generous. Is take as much as you want.
Here you go, Joe. There you go. I'm looking out for Joe because I've seen him in action.
I'm walking.
I've seen him in action. I'm being generous with myself because I know my limits.
You gotta drive, bitch.
Sorry.
So bourbon has to be 51% corn. Distilled no higher than 160 proof. Oak aged in brand new American oak barrels. And so I get all my bourbon.
So it has to be oak barrels.
Brand new charred oak barrels. Now other whiskeys can be used barrels, or non-charred barrels.
See, I didn't know that.
There's a lot. There's a 4-page.
So what's the process with the charred barrels? I mean, how do they do that?
So they take the wood. Usually they'll take oak.
That's it, Bob.
Yeah, American oak, and they will send it down to like Missouri to get it seasons. It sits outside for perfect humidity, temperature to season the wood. And then the cooper will bring it back. I use a cooper out of Grand Rapids. It's called Crow's Nest. And so they will toast the inside of the barrel by constructing the barrel and then putting it over an open flame. And then how long you burn it for is the degree of char. And so if you open a brand new barrel, you'll see that it's actually black charcoal, like not charcoal, but charred wood on the inside. And so that's where you get a lot of the color. You get most of your flavors from the char. Yep. So this, I get all my corn from the owner Clearwater Meats, Tim Nimps up there.
Yeah.
Nimps Farms. So he grows a specific variety of yellow corn for me.
You stay local.
Oh, I do. I try and use everything local that I can.
Okay.
So I do get the rye and the malt from Wisconsin. But we're that popular. We're getting questions.
Yeah.
Actually, sorry, I had to stop you because
you're good.
Matthew W wants to know how many years did you race before you won?
So
sorry, it's Matthew Walls from Sanborn.
Okay. I won my well, you have to start out in one of the race series in novice. I won my first weekend doing novice, but there weren't many bikes. So the next year I got moved up to expert and I had won. So it was basically 1 year. The first year I was racing novice races. Second year I started winning. Actually, my second full year of racing, which was 2012, I won my first national championship.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you know Matthew Walls from the Sandbar?
From Sandbar?
Yeah, that's what it says, from the Sandbar.
I'm sure if I saw his face.
Okay. And the other question was what classes run wheelie control?
So a lot of the super bikes now have traction control, but you can delete it and turn it down as much as possible on these newer bikes. In the Pro Series, you're not supposed to run traction or wheelie control. So the first bike I raced for the first 5 years I was racing, it didn't need traction control or wheelie control. You learn a lot more on the racing side when you don't have those, we call them Band-Aids. So when you get too heavy on the throttle, the bike shuts itself down.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of the big bikes have them.
There you go, Matthew. I asked your questions. Good job.
Thank you for sending chats. Give me a question through the chats. I appreciate it.
Sorry, they must have just sneaked those in while we're drinking about bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
So keep going back.
Get back to the burning.
I don't want to forget it.
So the process brewing bourbon is this very similar to the brewing beer. Once you're done, you have wort, which is essentially beer, depending on, there's a couple different phases that makes it different in the process. I do what's called grain on. So I do all my fermentation is on the grain. So in the mash tun, you put all the corn, you heat the water, put the corn in, you heat that up to almost 200 degrees.
I watch Moonshiners. So I know about that.
A little bit, yeah. That's called gelatinization. That's where the corn starches turn to sugars. Then we bring it back down to like 160 proof. You add the malt and the rye. If you put the malt and rye in above that, you'll denature enzymes, which enzymes are really important for the whole process and during the fermentation. So once you cool it down to, I'd cool about 80 degrees, I pump it into a fermenter, all of it, the whole slurry and everything. Now that's a different with brewing. They do a process called lautering, and they create a grain bed, and they suck all the liquid out from underneath the bed and add water to the top to keep the bed hydrated. Really? Yep. And they're measuring sugar amount. So they can tell when they're starting to dilute it from the water on top. And so they get clear-ish liquid coming out. I want all that. I want all the sugars. I want everything. It's called grain on. So then I let it ferment, and then I pump all of that whole mash, everything to the still, and I distill it grain on as well. That you're just capturing more flavor, capturing more sugars, more alcohol. You're not leaving anything behind once it's fermented.
That's awesome, actually.
Yep.
Damn.
It's like a class 101.
Mm-hmm.
I know, but I'm learning a lot about how to do it, though.
I had no idea that's what went into it.
Yep. So everything that comes out of the still is clear.
Yeah.
Everything. So all your colors are from from oak or flavorings if you're doing flavored type stuff.
Yeah.
So you'll notice that one I didn't bring our normal Baroda bourbon. That one's more red because I aged in a port barrel. So I took it, aged it 2 years in a American charred oak barrel, and then 2 years I pulled it and put it in a port barrel that was freshly dumped from Tabor Hill. And so then you're gonna get a little of the red hint to it because as the oak expands and contracts, the alcohol penetrates into the wood.
Okay, you said I'll get a red hint.
A red hinted, like if you look at the bottle, you get and then there are some fruit notes that you're getting in the flavor from it. So this is 100 proof. If you're not used to drinking 100 proof, you might just taste hot.
Yeah, I taste hot, buddy. This is not 100 proof. It said 50.
No, that's 50%, which is 100 proof.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
You do.
I like it.
Yep, I do too.
That's good taste.
It's awesome.
I saw your face that you made. That wasn't a good face.
Mhm.
Actually, I make that face when I'm not used to drinking something I'm not used to. I do like bourbon. I mean, but I'm more of a cognac and
I got a good cognac for you.
Do you really?
he would.
Yeah, so the reason Round Barn started distilling is Rick Morse, the owner. He fell in love with brandies and cognacs. In the U.S., we can't call it cognac. The cognac region holds like a trademark to it, kind of like tequila.
No, it's like champagne,
tequila, cognac, Armagnac, all those.
And Champagne can only call it champagne in the city of Champagne.
It's a region.
Yeah.
So that's why we have to call it sparkling wine here.
Yeah.
We can't call it champagne. I think we can get away with putting like champagne style on the label,
Right.
but that's the most.
Really?
I didn't know. I don't think actually. You know what?
From the champagne.
Yeah,
I didn't know that about cognac though.
Yes.
Really?
Cognac's the region as well. Yeah, but
that's in what's that? Cognac.
France.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
I didn't know that though. You can't say cognac.
So we can put like cognac style on the back of the label, like in the description, but you can't put like right on front cognac style.
Can you put it on a menu still?
You might be able to put it like under cognac, like under a category.
Yeah. Okay.
If you've got multiple brandies.
Right.
Okay.
And that's what kind of sucks about the industry in the US is that I wish they get a different name for brandy, because brandy, when you say brandy, people think the sweet syrupy, blackberry brandy,
right,
that kind of stuff. And so when you're like trying to push brandies, people taste it and they're like, oh, that's not what I was expecting.
Actually, this is good.
So, but we started in Michigan. They allowed wineries to buy a fruit distillation license, and so that's how we got into distilling in the first place. So for like the first 5 years, all we could do is fruit brandies, and so we have a Michigan brandy that we age at least 10 years in French oak barrels. I drink that, and I'm like, why do people drink bourbon? But it's so smooth.
It is. I do love cognac more than anything, because cognac just it's like a fine wine.
It is.
It's like a fine wine that's the more alcohol. Pretty much, that's all it is in my eyes.
I mean, it's the same process as making wine. You ferment it the same way.
Yeah.
You just can't add sulfites to it, but you distill it, so you don't need it to preserve.
So I'll talk about this one for a minute while we have it here. This one here, how long does it take to make?
So the brewing process, it depends how many barrels I'm making in like the entire process. But like to make one barrel of bourbon takes me 2 weeks.
So
then it goes to barrel for the Baroda bourbon blend. We try and do minimum of 2 years in New American oak.
That's what I want.
Or minimum of 3 years. As when I first started doing a lot of the in-house bourbon, we had to pull some at 2 years just to get more on the shelf, kind of thing. Now I've built up enough backstock that we can do 3, we can do 5. I think I've got the oldest one is 8 year right now.
Yeah.
So
8 years.
How old can you go?
As old as you want.
Really?
Yeah. The only problem is once you start doing every year, you lose a percentage to evaporation.
Oh, really?
The angel share. And so you get up to 10, 15 years and you're down to like a third of a barrel.
So what's the best
I know that
age for
it's all real preference. I mean, if you don't know bourbon, you're not going to know much of a difference between a 3, a 5, a 10, unless somebody's sitting in front of you and being like, all right, you see this note and you see this note, you're going to taste these two different things. In young bourbons, you'll get more heat, a burn. And that's just because the alcohol hasn't really like mellowed. over
that's
time.
what I'm getting.
Yeah, getting the heat.
Yeah.
Well, this one, so this is different. This blend in 2018, I took a 2016 barrel, moved it to a port barrel. And so every year after that, when I was putting our Baroda bourbon blend together, I'd take all the assorted barrels that I wanted to. I'd put them in a tank. I would pull 30 gallons out of that and put 30 gallons of the port in it. And then I'd top the blend back to the port barrel. So it's a blend of 30 different barrels over 5, 6, 7 years.
How long does a barrel last?
Until
you have to get a new one.
It depends what you're trying to get. There's multiple things. Like the char is going to wear out after a few years. You'll stop after probably 2 to 3 years. You're going to stop getting that char.
How do you know that though?
Tasting it.
Tasting it?
Yeah. So if I like took a 3-year-old bourbon and I pulled it and then put new bourbon in it, which it can't be called bourbon anymore. It's whiskey because corn whiskey because it's a used barrel. But if you let that age, you're not going to get that same char flavor, even if you left it in there for 3 years.
So after a while, if you keep using the barrel, you're pretty much making whiskey.
Right. In that process.
Yeah.
But so you're losing that char impact, but you're getting oxidation. And that's an important through the evaporation and the expansion and contraction of the wood, and the oak the alcohol goes farther into the wood and picks up those wood notes, but not the char as much. So in the wine world, it's really common to use neutral barrels, and those are ones that have just lost their char over years. And you use it for the oxidation, that process of the distilling.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And then a lot of whiskey barrels.
You okay?
He's burning my tongue.
It's 100 proof, Joe.
It's 50% alcohol.
Awesome.
50% alcohol, man.
Whew.
You okay?
Love it.
All right, you sure?
Hell yeah! They keep making faces. You keep laughing at me, fuckers.
Yeah, that's really good.
It took me a long time when
I like the first taste of it.
When I first started distilling, I was like, all right, I just got to drink this stuff all the time straight to keep build a palate because everything burned at the beginning. And so you don't even know what you're tasting if you can't taste flavor. So you just got to keep doing it.
No, I just
keep doing it.
Keep riding that horse until I get fucked off or more.
Put an ice cube in it.
Yeah.
You actually find a lot more flavors when it's lower proof.
Yeah.
So.
You add more water to it, lowers the proof.
Yeah. So the proof is decided. So when you distill it, it can't be higher than 160 proof. That's the alcohol content. So to get it back down to drinking proof, you add reverse osmosis water.
Is that why the big giant ice cube?
The ice cube will dilute it as it sits and melts, so the bottom's going to be lesser alcohol content.
And that's why when they did moonshine, it was illegal because it was too high, right?
There's no regulations on moonshine, and the code book for regulations is 2 inches thick. It's ridiculous. So
really, you got a question?
No, he's making fun of me.
Is the same guy? Is the same Matt?
Yeah. Joe, you're holding like you're having your first beer. Damn it! Sorry, my bad. It is my first one today. Thank you. Yeah. Ass.
There you go, man.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers to that, Joe.
No. Okay.
Do you need a nipple on it?
Yes, I will.
All right.
Actually, I'm holding it off till the next one now.
So when I go through the process of putting a blend together, I go taste them all at barrel strength, which is 115, 120 proof.
Holy shit.
And so you have to learn to fight the heat.
So when you are doing this one here, how many barrels can you make out of one batch?
One batch,
whatever you're doing. How many?
So the way I've got it set up,
aren't those still coming into the big giant, whatever they're called, like
tanks, vats.
Tanks, yeah.
So the way I do it is I have a 500 gallon mash tun. That's what you do all the cooking in. I pump that. I do one brew, pump it over to a tank, pitch the yeast. So I get the fermentation going. The next day I'll do another brew, pump that in on top of it. So it's about 900 gallons.
That's a lot.
And so that's 9 to 10 distillations on our still because we only have 100 gallons still.
Okay.
So that roughly it comes out 145, 150 proof. Dilute that to 120 is what we barrel at. And then that's roughly one barrel. So one fermentation, which lasts 4 to 5 days, 2 brews, one fermentation, all those distillations. So that's like two weeks span.
Okay.
Will make you one barrel.
How big's the barrel?
52 gallons.
52 gallons.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn. How'd you went to school for this?
No.
You learned this all hands on?
Yep. Everything's on. All my training has been on the job. Internet's a great thing.
Yeah. Did you have anybody above you that?
Yeah.
Taught you all
My
this
boss, the owner, Matt Morsch, he taught me how to run the still, and he taught me all the spirits that we were already doing. But we weren't brewing the bourbon in house. We were getting mash from the brewery and that kind of thing. So I had to learn brewing. Then, fine tuning the cuts that you're making as the alcohol is coming off the still. All the dilution process he taught me. But then we got into new spirits that we'd never made that we were interested in doing. That's all self-taught, internet stuff.
Oh, shit.
Damn, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
And that's a growing business too. But I suppose the actual learning how to do is something that all people that want to get into that industry need to learn. Right?
Yeah, you see a lot of guys that come out of anything science background, or they understand the science side of it.
Right.
I felt the science side of it was easier to learn. Well, it's learnable. I always said there's same with winemaking. There's art side and wine side, and I don't feel you can really learn the art. And so with my photography background and the arts and stuff, I felt I had a little bit of a leg up, and I can learn the science. You don't need to necessarily know what's going on with the molecules and still and how they separate and how they flavor molecules stick and all that stuff. And if you can make a good bottle of bourbon without knowing that, you just need to know how to run the still.
How you feeling over there, Joe?
I'm fine and fucking dandy.
He's looking a little red.
Yeah,
I'm getting redder by the minute, but yes.
Yes.
I just took a drink. I'm thinking, I wish that the burn will stop coming from my mouth.
Oh, that's true.
We call it, once it starts to burn down here, we call it a warm hug.
Yeah.
It's
Just
not
a nice little
here.
warm.
It's supposed to be
It's just in your mouth?
Yes.
It's in your mouth. That's it. It's
Yes.
still there.
No, not anymore now.
Oh, stop complaining.
It's
Stop
not
complaining.
burning here.
That's what you're doing. Is complaining.
God, I
right
wish
now.
it would burn here. That would be a lot better.
Also, mine is right here.
Oh, hell no. I get that when I drink broken.
Oh, rumble.
Oh,
Yeah, I love Rumble.
The guy that I used to pit crew for and the pro racing stuff, he was a big Rumple guy.
Oh, dude.
So we'd celebrate a good weekend of racing with a Rumple shot of Rumple before.
Dude, I could do 8 shots of Rumple and not feel a fucking thing.
except for gut rot the next day.
Yeah.
No, until I go home and I forget how I got home, but I lose that 10-minute walk.
Gee.
How did I get home? Did I go this way?
So
No, how did I go this
whole
way?
new burn for you.
Oh yeah, this is.
You're good, man. You'll be good.
Yeah, thanks.
You'll be
Keep
okay.
riding that horse.
It's only one shot, man.
I know. That's all it was.
Finish it up. It's
This
only
one will take the edge off.
Yeah. Take the edge off.
So this is the new maple flavored bourbon that I
got a new
released.
cup.
He can do it. Yeah, you can do it on top of the port.
Hell no, I'm using a whole new cup. I want to
taste it.
I want to taste the difference.
Yeah.
Taste the sensation.
ASMR. We should.
Oh, look at
very
that.
nice. Very nice.
I want to applause. Give him applause.
Oh, before we pour, we're going to go to
Oh, yeah.
the top of the hour.
While he's pouring that, yeah.
Do the top of the
Top
hour.
hour.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us on the Third Eye Truth Hearing Podcast, episode 91. Joe, what?
We have 5 people right now watching on this.
Watching
on this, yeah.
Don't let me finish it. Help you later. Thank you for joining the Third Eye Truth Hearing Podcast, episode 91, guys. We're in the middle of tasting some great spirits.
And we
Made
are.
by
It's fun.
Robbie. It's good. I'm telling you, man, Joe is feeling it right now. He's feeling the burn.
This is fun.
And I'm gonna calm it down right now. But if you're watching on YouTube, guys, please like and subscribe. And not only that, hit the notification button so you can get more content when we do put out every Wednesday and Monday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. Thank you guys for joining us. Let's get back to the show. All right, now we go into the next one. So you all right?
Yeah, fine. Stop asking.
Why you got a second cup out?
No, that's
You can pour. You can pour this one right on top of the port.
Oh no, I want to.
You want the full experience.
I want to get the full experience,
Okay.
and then I'll mix mine.
So this is the maple flavored bourbon that I just released.
You just released this when?
March. So
March.
both of these came out in March with the opening of the bourbon barn that we just.
Oh, that's
Mm-hmm. So this one uses I've used natural maple flavoring and maple syrup in this. Same base of bourbon.
Where'd you get the maple syrup from?
Nobody local.
No,
I in the future, this was kind of a project that I was a little rushed.
Jumping into.
Yeah, so I have a plan that I want to take bourbon out of a bourbon barrel.
Yeah, you put a cork on it.
I want to get the problem with aged spirits is everything takes time. So if you want a project, you needed to think, or a new product out, you needed to think about that 2 years prior.
Right.
So my future plan is to empty a bourbon barrel fresh and give it to a maple syrup person. They can put maple syrup in it, age it.
So that's how you do that?
No, that's how some do it. And that's what I would like to move towards in the future. But that takes years because they'll age their maple syrup in it for a year, give it back to you, put aged bourbon back in it for a year. So now you're 2 years out, 3 years out.
Yeah.
So from the idea, so it's one of those, this project I've been thinking about for a long time, just never put it into motion. And then we decided to do the maple syrup. And I have some ideas of local people I can partner with to do local maple syrup. And that's the future I want to move towards.
So this is the experimental batch.
Yep.
More or less.
This is only 40%.
Yeah. So it's not going to burn as much.
Yeah.
So
cheers to that, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Come on, Junior.
Cheers. You don't have to reach that far. I'll come to you. How's that?
So my idea with this one is I really wanted the bourbon to shine through. So it's not like straight, just maple sweet. There's a lot of bourbon.
That's smooth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You put this on an ice cube easy and sip it all day.
Without hell yeah, this is awesome.
Oh no, Joe found his niche.
That is delicious.
You don't feel any burn in that one, do you?
Hell no. I feel like I'm at home now. I don't have to choke it down.
You're good.
I know this stuff's good, actually.
It's pretty good.
It is. I'm kind of impressed. On this one.
So I've got a few more ideas up the sleeve for a future line of these flavored bourbons. So
you can keep it to your chest right now.
I know. I got to keep it a little quiet. These ones work good in the fall. These kind of maple bourbons are. I'll say I'm working on
fall definitely.
Yeah,
I can see that in fall.
But it's been selling really good all the way through now. So
this one here, what's kind of a different process do you have to do between the two, or do you just add the maple?
Add the maple. That's I don't know. You were a little distracted over there.
I was reading the bottle. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
You're fine again. Yeah.
There's a couple different processes you can do. You can take like a fresh dumped bourbon barrel, give it to a maple syrup person.
That's what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, they age in it and you get it back. Okay. That's what I would like to do. And then you get bourbon aged maple syrup too. That'd be delicious.
Oh man.
So this would go good on some pancakes.
Oh, actually, I was thinking vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, butter pecan ice cream. Dump this on it.
Yeah,
that's butter pecan. Mm-hmm. I'm not a pecan guy. I'm sorry.
I am.
Is it pecan or pecan?
What do you say? Pecan?
I'm a pecan.
Pecan.
Me too.
Okay.
Me too.
Just making sure.
Pecan.
Pecan. That's good.
It is.
It's hitting you.
What's hitting me?
All of it.
All of it.
Oh, hell no. Not at all. Not even close.
Let's just start making these bird noises or animal noises.
What are we, the masters?
Yeah, exactly.
Masters podcast.
Man, this is good.
Start putting.
I like.
Oh, it's fun. It's funny when you were asking about the adrenaline thing. My thing now is golf.
Was it really?
Yeah, I love golf.
You went from.
I went from racing motorcycles 170 miles an hour to golf. Yeah,
going 10.
Yep.
That I still have to master that.
Good luck. You will never.
Yeah,
I
joking to attest to this because I suck at golf. He took me golfing one time and yeah. I took me golfing. Just throw the ball.
I said first, just throw the ball. Then I said, no, just pick the ball up and we're going.
Get in the car.
Get in the car. You're gonna hit where my ball is at.
Play a scramble.
Yeah, that's the
easiest way. Just get up here
with him on the first hole.
Yeah. I tried to tell him. I said, I'm not that good at it. So you'll be fine.
I said, you'll be fine. At the first hole, he's still not.
Charles Barkley swing and everything.
Oh, we're counting strokes because everybody there's counting strokes, and all of a sudden he's already on 10. I said, just pick your phone.
Yeah.
I said, just pick your. He's not even up to my shot yet.
Dude, I was horrible, man. If I actually took the time and learned how to swing,
Actually,
the great thing about golf, though, is you can play it any way you want.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're shooting 10s. It doesn't matter if you pick up your ball and you go to your buddy, as long as you're having fun.
I wish I could still play like I used to.
Mm.
I really do. I lost a step or two. I went from I would say I was a 7 handicap to a 17 handicap. Now I'm probably a 27 handicap.
You don't even play anymore.
I don't, because I went from playing in high school and going to college for it to stopping and getting married and having a kid, getting divorced and playing a little bit more. And now I just don't play. I play.
You mentioned you have a bowling tournament coming up.
Yeah.
How often you bowl?
Every Thursday, every year.
Actually. I mean, that's how you have to golf to be good.
I know.
It's one of those muscle memory things. Yeah. It's that rhythm of doing the same motion over and over again.
So I play scrambles here and there. And this is way back in the day, probably 15 years ago. The twins. The twins called me up and said, "Hey, Joe, you want to do a golf scramble?"
Which twins?
Pruitt twins.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know these guys. Chad and Jason Pruitt.
I was thinking of different twins that are very involved in golf.
You're thinking of
yeah.
I know you're talking
Gervins.
about. Yeah. So no, but those twins called me up and said, "Joe, do you want to do a golf scramble with us? You're the fourth." I'm like, all right, whatever. And they knew I don't drink when I golf back then. So this golf outing we went to, the first thing I saw was people doing keg stands. Doing keg stands on the golf course. I went, the fucking kind of golf is this?
Outings and scrambles. They're a whole different.
So we're hitting it. So I'm hitting normal, and they're all doing keg stands and doing everything else. There's a person with a keg on their cart driving around and pouring it down people's mouths. I went, I know why you guys brought me here.
No.
Different kind of golf I've never seen
I'm
before.
gonna win this shit because I'm the one that doesn't drink. But after that, I started drinking and started playing golf and buying a beer when I drink and when I golf and doing shots.
Just one?
Actually, yeah, I only do one per round. So about two.
Nothing wrong with it.
No, I still can't drink when I golf. I still can't. I don't know why. I like playing the game. I like being out in the sun. It's like bowling.
You just don't.
I really don't drink that much when I bowl either, though. I can't. I'm focused on what I'm doing, and I'm already burning calories. I forget it. I forget it's there. It's like I'm at home. I don't drink at home because I put a beer or a glass of wine down and I pay attention to the movie or a show that I'm watching. I'm looking, I'm thirsty. Oh shit, I have a beer. Oh shit, I have a glass of wine. Oh shit, it's warm.
Isn't most of your wine warm when you drink it?
Reds.
Hell no.
Whites are cold. Reds are warm.
Yeah.
Oh, see.
I started on the wine side.
I need more people like him on the show.
What do you drink? What's your wine?
Both.
But what's your favorite?
See, there you go, right there. Yeah. I don't drink warm wine.
No, it depends on where it's from. No, where it's from.
Okay.
From your guys' place, more whites than reds.
Okay.
I do. I like the more whites and the reds on your.
The dries or the
semi.
Okay.
More semi-sweet, semi-dry, or depends on what it is. Depends on how many places I've been to.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't matter. Once you really start drinking more wine or bourbon or whatever you're drinking, the taste ballads are gone.
Yep.
So you're screwed no matter what.
Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to get him going wine tasting.
No,
I'm trying to get a bus.
We did that once. I got a headache.
No, I'm trying to get a bus or people to get all of us to go on and do that. Oh, that'd be a good podcast.
That would be in the bus.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'll join you. Let's do it.
Robbie said,
that'd be awesome. We get enough people.
I'll be your personal wine guy.
We get enough people. We could probably do that. Oh, I could work that. Get enough women and everything else to go on.
We'll have to invite my wife.
Yeah.
She would be mad.
Bring your wife. That'd be awesome, dude. That's a good idea.
For the first couple of years, my wife was not.
That'd be a good idea.
Look at that. She didn't want to stay here. Like she thought we were going to Grand Rapids.
More good ideas.
So you moved here.
I was already here with an established job.
Yeah.
She had just graduated college. I moved her here, but for a while she's like, I'm not making friends here. We're moving. So she would hang out. Her and my mom would just go wine tasting all day. Like perfect.
Downed it.
Yeah.
You finished it?
Oh hell yeah, that one's a good one. It goes on smooth.
That one's a lot smoother than the 100 proof.
Yeah.
Just proof wise, alcohol.
I still taste the maple afterwards too. That's what I like about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
get over some ice cream, man. Butter pecan.
Yeah.
Pecan.
No, I don't like nuts in my mouth. Sorry.
Biatch face. You had to go there, Dave. Yeah. It's a dick.
This is so off topic.
Yeah.
No, never mind. I'm not even
Go
going
ahead.
there.
Go ahead, man.
No, it's a social media thing. One of the hockey players got hit in the wrinkle purse. Never heard of that. Never heard of that before. You can have more if you want it.
That's funny. The wrinkle purse.
This is actually good. You thought of this?
Yeah, that's one. Yep.
You have some good idea.
And then I did on that maple. I did all
idea.
the formulation.
Yeah, you have a good idea on that. That is actually spot on. That I can see that selling great.
Mm-hmm. It's going real well.
I bet.
So
especially around this area around here alone, this area around here, wintertime and everything else, perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
Put that in some coffee, actually.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can put that in some coffee.
I don't drink coffee.
I know you don't. I do.
I love my coffee.
Yeah, me too.
I'm actually working a little bit. I'll talk a little bit about this one.
Grabbing the bottle.
I'm just looking at the.
You have the first one.
I've been talking with Brian over at Infusco about doing a coffee bourbon.
Infusco, really?
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. So that's one of my next ideas for a winter type release.
I'm telling you, we'll delete that out.
I don't care. That's fine. So,
we can delete shit.
Yeah, I can get rid of the.
No, you can't.
Yeah, I can.
It's live. So, are you guys gin drinkers at all?
I'm very low, but
I'm always up to try some gin.
Okay. So this
we're
one,
always trying to.
This one is pretty cool. This was my personal recipe.
Your personal recipe?
Yeah, they were like, hey, we should make a gin. So
I like that sound.
I know, that's why I did it right in the mic. So I came up with this recipe. At the time, I hated gin. I couldn't stand it. It was like I'm not a big IPA drinker. I know I'll get hate on for that.
Nah, you won't. Because
I don't like the bitterness.
You don't make it.
Right. So this
very little. I don't like gin that much.
I made this as a kind of a non-gin drinkers gin. So it's very citrus forward.
I might be a gin drinker.
And now we jokingly call this the transition gin.
It smells good though.
Yeah. So
it just really smell like.
I have you the bottle. I gotta read it.
Yeah. Sorry. Cork in.
Yep. Cork in.
It has something.
I like reading the bottles.
But
it does
smell some of the stuff you.
It's juniper.
Yeah.
So the idea
is what it is.
Yep. So gin has to be predominantly juniper. That's like the only standard for it to be gin. And so the difference that I did with than most people do is I used grape brandy as the base. Most people use neutral spirits, which is either grain or grape that's distilled way out to 190 plus proof. Yeah. You can't taste the base at all. I wanted to tie it back to the vineyard, and so I used grape brandy. You'll get a little hint of sweetness come through. That's a lot of the grape from the brandy. Juniper, coriander, cardamom, angelica root, cassia, and fresh orange peel. The fresh orange peel is the ticket because most people gin and tonic, you put a lime in it or something.
That's all in the batch making it.
Yeah, I can explain a little bit of the process. There's two different ways to make gin. One's called maceration, and that's where you put all of that and the alcohol. You let that sit for a while, put that in the still. Well, I only have one still, so I'm worried about the juniper. It's very oily, so I was worried about like that flavor sticking inside the still, contaminating the still basically. And so the other process, which they're both equally respected, not one's better than the other, is called vapor infusion. And so what you do is there's a basket. So the vapors boil off, the alcohol vapors boil up, pass up through the still. And on the condensing side, right before the condenser, there's a basket that the vapors pass through with all the botanicals packed in it. And so that's where all the flavors coming through is this. It looks like a giant cheese grater, and the vapor just passes through this packet of stuff. Can you pick out any of those flavors? I
tasted it already.
Yeah, I taste.
Like it?
Hell yeah! Actually,
that smells real good.
It doesn't smell. I'm not a big gin drinker, but this
actual gin, like gin you buy off the store. At the store, it smells so much different.
That's what I'm saying. I can taste the orange peel.
Mm-hmm. So I made it citrus forward because like I said,
that is really good.
At the time, I didn't like gin.
I didn't like gin at all.
Mm-hmm. So through the process, I fell in love with gin. I'll drink any gin now.
Wow.
That's what. See why he's so.
That's not like any gin I've ever tasted.
I know
Like,
that's what I'm saying now. Wow.
wow.
Yeah.
So the first year I
I
submitted.
like have you 269 right here.
Yep. 269 gin.
Is that
really
is that just the
area code?
Area code?
Yeah. So all of our
That's
names
really
on. So Baroda Bourbon, 269 gin, Red Sky Rum, kind of sunset idea.
Well, the straight.
This actually is.
That is really good gin.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like your divine.
Okay, you can only buy this at the Round Barn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't distribute in Michigan right now. That could change. I'm working on self-distribution. That's a whole nother process.
You guys really want to though, because
Michigan,
you guys are killing it now.
I know Michigan's tough.
Not just the top of that.
That's really good.
Thank you.
You guys are killing it just because you don't see any of your stuff in besides Divine.
Right. Well, that we don't even distribute either.
You don't.
That's a long story. That happened during. Well, we used to. It happened during COVID with their bottle shortages and stuff, and we weren't sending the minimum quantities to the state and that kind of.
I thought I've seen it.
We were distributing Divine. Vodka. So, we're actually moving towards Indiana pretty hard.
Pair this with a good tonic. Oh my
yes.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers. This is actually
that's really good gin.
Thank you.
If I had to drink a gin, it's gonna be this one now. No,
it's a gateway gin. I told you. When you get people out there and they're like, we don't like gin, we're like, taste this one, you'll like it.
Yeah.
I could drink this straight up. This is awesome, actually.
Put it on a nice with a nice cube in there.
Yeah,
dude, this is good, man.
We should buy ice.
I should have asked you. I was gonna ask about bringing ice. Sorry.
We could took some from the bar.
That's really good.
I know.
Never had gin like that before.
So the first year I made this, I sent it to the American Distilling Institute. They do a giant judging. It's not really a competition, but I won a gold medal. Going back, the guy that hates gin is going back for more. That's a testament to that. That doesn't lie.
This actually is a fucking good ass gin.
I won a gold medal on the first try.
Did you really?
Yeah. So I was really proud of that.
Oh yeah.
So
as you should.
All right, I'll go with that. I'll go with what you just said. So when you win something like that,
you get a medal. That's it.
I know. I meant, how do you feel?
Oh, I feel great.
One of the best. Why are you taking those back towards him? Oh no!
You'll set them up nice and pretty for the camera.
Yes, they were nice and pretty for the camera.
The cool thing about this job is that you have your hands on it from the ground up, and then you see it in bottle, and then you hear these experiences of people tasting it like you guys are.
Yeah,
and it's so much fun. It's like, I mean, I can't take all the credit for it, but it's like I did that.
No, you what?
No.
How much credit can you take? About what? 50%?
I mean that like. I mean more. I like give credit to God and the abilities to do this and the opportunities that I've had in the company and like the.
You have a great talent, man. I'll tell you that much right there. This
is one of the best gins I've had.
Yeah,
I'll admit it.
That's blown my mind.
I hate gin, but this now just turned my eyes on gin.
If I ever do one gin again, I'm definitely coming to you guys for that gin.
I'm a vodka drinker and everything else in my life, but this will top vodka right now. But
what?
Yes.
Oh, wait. Oh, what?
You
just, I was trying to find
the repeat button.
Yeah.
No,
that was a good one.
That was a good one too. But keep going. I will. There you go.
What?
No, rewind. I would definitely stop drinking vodka for this right now. Right here.
Seriously?
Right yes. This actually.
Say it again.
Stop drinking vodka.
All right, next people who see him at the bar better ask if he's drinking gin. Well, it's not my gin. I'm sorry.
Has to have that gin right there.
I gotta have that one. Yeah, I gotta have that. That actually.
Well, I'll leave this one with you.
Oh, sweet.
There you go. You guys can fight over it.
Sweet action. I like it.
All right.
Oh yeah.
No, he said he could leave it for me.
I
heard it.
For the arm wrestle, I'll use my left. Use your right.
I don't know how that'll work.
I'll split it. No, wait. I'll split it with you. I'll split it with you, buddy. Yeah. See, people saw it. I'll split it with you. There. I'll split it with you. 50-50.
I don't believe you.
50-50. I'm not taking
the toes crossed.
No.
I do have
I'll get another bottle and bring it by for
arm wrestle over this.
My thing is, of all the stuff I've had so far at Round Barn, some stuff, yes, I'm thinking why you guys really want to try to dip into this.
Mm-hmm.
But this one right here, I'm more amazed because that is
That's really good gin.
Yes.
The hard part about the entire industry is that you have to cater to the masses.
Yeah.
So far,
And so
maple and yes, gin. Spot on.
and the your opinion there isn't because the port's bad. It's just you're not a port drinker. So like you got to find, and
Well, you have
the
to be
sweet
here.
stuff, but the sweet stuff pays the bills too. So
Yeah.
it's really
Can't do
hard.
it anymore.
Just drink one.
No, that's that first bourbon.
Oh, the port.
Oh man, I thought you drank my gin. I was like, you about to fight.
And so it's really hard. You want to make all this cool like craft stuff,
Yeah.
but if it doesn't appeal to the masses,
Then
so you make your sweet stuff. You make your sangrias, your cranberry wine.
Oh, now you're dog Mike's.
Have you had the sangria?
Yes, I've had all.
Oh, yeah.
I've been to the sangria parties every year.
So when I first started, I helped develop the ongoing developing recipe of sangria over the years.
You helped create that?
Yeah.
Have you really?
Yeah. And then also the black walnut cream. That was
Wait a minute.
So I was in on that one.
Snacks in the bottle.
Oh my gosh. We jokingly call that.
That's what it's called.
We jokingly call it the last lick because we'd give out taste. No, these little taster cups. You put it in a different one, and every single person licked it out.
That's why they always say this is sex in the bottle. Right here.
I've heard about that.
Salted caramel too. Those creams are delicious. But those,
I'm not a caramel fan though. You got to be a caramel fan for it.
Right. Yeah. They have their place, but those things pay the bills, so you can do the vineyard, the estate cab sauvs, and the Riesling, dry Rieslings, and those kind of things. Just because it's such a niche market, when you get into the craft stuff, like this port barrel of bourbon, isn't for the guy that you buy. He dabbles in bourbon, but he's not a bourbon connoisseur kind of person. Like you buy him the lower level bourbons because he's just mix it with Coke, or, that kind of thing. So you got to make those sweet things that pay the bills, so you can do the fun, what you enjoy as the craft. Yeah,
so you can experiment a little.
Right.
You have room to make some other things.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
With so far what you have us taste so far, which one is your favorite?
I go back to the gin all the time.
See,
that was one of my first like my creation.
Cheers to gin.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Cheers to gin.
Yeah. Cheers. I don't have any more, but
cheers to gin.
That, brother.
You better drive.
This
is actually
that's really good.
I can't stop saying it.
I wish I would have brought the other one that was kind of like my work that took over for years, was this spiced rum.
Yeah.
I used to drink Captain Coke all the time. I went from the first, in 2014 when I first took over. I was like, I'm making a spiced rum. You've had ours?
Yes.
So my goal was to make a spiced rum. That? Yeah, that was my recipe and everything.
That's actually really good.
So I wanted to make a spiced rum that you could sip.
But I didn't have it straight. I had it with
a
mix with one of your guys' mixed drinks. Actually, back in about 2 months ago, I think.
Okay.
When the Brown Barn had, what's it called now?
Up in the Bourbon Barn?
Yeah, the Bourbon Barn.
Was it the grand opening?
About a
couple
weeks before.
Middle of March?
Yeah, a couple weeks before. A week before your guys' grand opening.
Okay, we did like a soft launch and then had it open. Yep. Okay. I was going to say, if you were there for the grand opening, we crossed paths. I was there.
I was there for the grand opening.
Okay.
I couldn't make it out. I was invited, but I was there a week before because of
soft launch,
because of Missy's birthday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. This is really good jam, dude.
I know. I already finished my other sip that I had.
There's more, but that takes from your bottle.
I know.
You can enjoy it now. I can open this other stuff.
What else we got?
Yeah. So last year we released our
next cup.
Yep. Next cup. Actually, this one can go in on the gin. This one's made with gin. So last year we launched a line of, here, I'll do this.
Oh yeah.
I like how you do
really
that.
Good at that, right?
So this is only my second time ever on a podcast, and the first time was Zoom.
Yeah.
So I like this.
You like being in the first.
I do. I don't know why I poured first. I'm sorry, guys. That was rude.
No. It's fine.
So this is we launched a line of RTD, ready to drink cocktails. So this is the gin gimlet, made with my base of gin, and now the winery did a lot of the flavor process. Here, or you can have a can. I don't care. Here, have a can.
Yeah,
drink the whole can.
You might cup. I'll drink the can.
So we launched
I want to taste it before the can, after the can.
We launched a whole line of ready to drink cocktails. Get into that market.
I'm not a big gin gamblet fan, but the funny thing is your gin was awesome, so I can't say that now.
Yeah.
So this is
Try it. You know,
I know.
Try it now.
This is the blackberry gin gimlet.
Oh my god,
that's really good.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you don't taste a lot of the gin, but so our idea was to make it just like a gin cocktail would, or the gimlet would taste.
Did you? Is that what's in here? Oh, thank you.
Don't mind if I do. When you told me in my message
That's
about
really good.
Bringing something to drink, this is what I brought to drink.
You brought a lot.
Then you brought the great stuff.
Mm.
Oh man, that's really good.
Wow.
Now, cold. They're supposed to be served cold. These are obviously room temperature, so it's a little.
I can picture it cold, but
still, because normally a cocktail will be over ice. And
oh my god, this is still phenomenal though.
Yeah.
Oh, this is good, dude.
Wow. So how do you make the blackberry part?
So it's a concentrates and flavorings and stuff like that.
So there's no blackberries in it.
Concentrate. So blackberry is concentrate is black.
I know.
They juice and nuts.
Yeah, that's what I'm
right.
saying. So you have no
actual
blackberries.
Correct.
Soaking in.
Correct. No,
right.
No. That so when you get into something where you're trying to make, margins and quickly reproducible product, it's really hard to do, the fresh fruit type stuff, especially when you're trying to make quantity. So that gets a little difficult. But is
it harder when you do add more fresh stuff in the barrel? If you have to do that, do you have to compensate with the volume of the barrel and everything else? I'm curious.
Like when you're doing, like if you're adding fruit and stuff to a barrel age something, all that's done is post barrel. So you pull it out of a barrel to do, and then you do blends and then flavor trial. Like with the maple, I pulled that all out of barrel, and then I added the maple to it. So it wasn't aging as.
It wasn't aging as with the.
No.
Wouldn't that be easier though?
So what I was explaining to him when you were reading the label is all of that is time consuming. So if if I pull, a 2-year-old bourbon, I pull it out of barrel, I send it to a maple barrel person. He needs to age his maple syrup in it for a year to get the bourbon infused into the maple. Now I need to take bourbon and put it in it for another minimum of a year to get the maple back out.
Well, that's what I guess I was lost when you said that to him. Was if you did it all at the same time, wouldn't that still age at the same time?
You can't do that at the same time.
So
it doesn't
work? No, because what happens is if let's say you add maple.
I like how he's somewhat smiling when he's telling
No, because there's so many things about the distilling world that people don't get.
Yeah, that's why.
So if I add maple to a fresh barrel of bourbon, it's no longer bourbon.
Yeah.
What is it?
It would be a distilled specialty spirit. Because
that's a whole new era.
It is. There's a once I add maple syrup to it, post bourbon, it's a distilled specialty spirit. Because bourbon can't be anything but grain.
You didn't say that.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you didn't say that because that would make more sense to me because that would that's why my question was that why can't you just add it at the same time? So that would make it a whole new era, a whole new genre of stuff.
They're called classifications. So you have your class. Whiskey is the parent classification. Bourbon, all your ryes, all those crazy things fall underneath whiskey.
So there's stuff out there like that.
Well, like what?
Like if you add it all together,
it would leave the whiskey world and become a distilled specialty spirit from the beginning. And that doesn't mean anything to the consumer.
I know, but
that's all on. So distilled specialty spirit is something it's a thing called the Chapter 4 in the TTB handbook. And in there describes all your spirits. The distilled specialty spirit catches.
Don't give me a button.
I'm looking through the button. I'm trying to find a button waiting for you.
The distilled DSS, distilled specialty spirit, is like the catch-all of things that don't fit any of those other categories.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's so confusing, and when I talk about it, you feel like you're talking over people's heads, and it's like
that's good.
This is really good.
This is good. Actually, I don't like gin can, but the blackberry kicks in just at the right time, like it's a wine.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a gimlet, gin gimlet?
Yeah.
Sour
Not a
eggs.
blackberry.
At Sandbar, have you ever had one?
No. Fuck no.
He wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it in a heartbeat.
Not without that gin.
Yeah. I gotta have this gin now.
He's gonna sneak it in his pocket.
Yeah.
Like, can you
Oh,
make me a
hell no.
gimlet?
Put this in a safe spot.
Yep.
No, I would say put this in the cooler right here.
And no one knows about it. What's this black wooden label? This cork right here.
Yeah,
No one knows.
This is my stuff.
This is good. This is good stuff.
Thank you.
I congratulate you on that gin.
So-
That's a good blend.
Can you take this to distributors, restaurants?
Yeah, so that would be the self-distribution.
Yeah.
If I can go through the state, and that's a whole process.
Yeah.
They did allow us to start opening up to do self-distribution in the area.
So you have that license for that.
Yes,
Okay.
I do. But it's a technical process of pricing and all
Yeah,
that, and you have to get listed in the book.
Yeah.
You know, the book.
I know all about that.
And it's just it's a process.
So,
So, and Michigan doesn't make it easy.
of course they
But
don't.
you're
No,
Of course we don't.
But you're round barn.
I know.
Of course Michigan doesn't make it easy.
You know, and Matt has done a very good
But you're
job.
round barn. Come on.
Well, Matt has done a very good job pioneering a lot of these things. We're one of the first in the country to ever to be a winery, distillery, and brewery all together.
All three?
All three.
Nice.
Yep. And so a lot of Michigan's legislation on those tasting rooms and those kind of things are written because of the way
We operate. Yeah.
well, not the way we operate. We had to kind of like bring it to them. Like, why isn't it the same between a winery, brewery, and distillery? The tasting rooms that you're allowed, the permits you get, they're all different between the three processes. So when we were opening the tasting room out in Coloma,
off of I-94.
yeah, we were allowed to serve wine there, but we weren't allowed to serve beer there because it was a satellite wine tasting room.
Yeah.
But it needed to be a brewery. It couldn't be a satellite brewery tasting room. Well, now they've done it to where you can get satellite brewery tasting rooms.
Yep.
After,
Wow.
like,
That's why
kind of because of us.
2121 is now, because of them, actually, they can have their vodka that they make, or what? 2121. What do they make then?
They have vodka.
Okay. Why do you
They
shaking
make
your
their
head
own
at me?
got
You keep shaking your head no.
I'm not going to discuss on that.
No, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just leave it alone.
You'll see. So it is very common, and I'm not saying that they do this. I don't want to. I'm not accusing them of doing this, but I don't know that they own a still.
Well,
you can get a distilled spirits permit.
Yeah.
And buy spirits.
Okay.
And sell.
I see what you're saying.
I'm not saying that they do that. I have no idea if they have a still or not.
Oh, you're shaking your head like I was wrong.
No,
I know.
well,
I didn't want to. I didn't want to speak out loud.
Like I
I'm
didn't buy it. Like I didn't buy it there.
I'm not. No.
Speak on it. That's all.
I know.
I'm not
asking you to speak on it. So because of them, how they were the first ones, how they were saying, he's saying he was the first ones that could do it. Yes, they're actually, I'll admit, you were the first ones that can do that.
So it was the first three in the state.
Yes.
Well, not the first. I shouldn't say that.
You were
us, St. Julian, and Black Star Farms. We
St. Julian didn't do it until after you guys did.
So the Rick, the owner, and Matt and Chris, they all went on a group trip to Germany after this license had become available.
Oh, so
and they did a group purchase of stills from Germany.
Oh, really?
The Christian Carl still. So
that was true.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there might have been other distilleries operating in Michigan, but we're the first. I think we're pretty much the first wineries to become distilleries in the state.
But you are grabbing the two oldest wineries in the state of Michigan.
Along with them, once we purchased Tabor Hill in 2017, we are the third largest winery in the state.
I'm glad you said that.
I'll bring it up. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I knew you wanted it. You were going to ask it at some point.
I was going
to.
So
it's a very interesting. I don't know if do you know the full story?
Yes, I do.
Circle with Rick.
Yes, I do.
Okay. I'll briefly do it.
Yes, I do.
You give us a brief summary.
I already told on a couple podcasts before.
Yeah,
did you?
I remember you.
So Rick was a science teacher. He was living on the property at Round Barn, and they'd started growing German varietal grapes. They had brought some German varietal grapes that had never been here before. And so he was a science teacher at Berrien Springs, and the Olson family, who owned Tabor at the time, had some issues, and they brought Rick in to help them with these fermentation issues.
He was actually the winemaker.
He became the winemaker after that. Yeah.
Tell stories, Joe.
No, he was clarifying.
Yeah.
So he became
Thank you.
through that process. They were I guess my story is not so short.
It's
But
okay.
through that process, they had offered them the job of the winemaker, and he became the winemaker. Well, then the Uptons had purchased Tabor Hill, and Rick was already making wine a little bit at Round Barn, which was called Heart of the Vineyard at the time, and they kind of gave him a here or there ultimatum, and he chose
Round Barn.
Round Barn. And so then fast forward years when we brought the Round Barn to the property. Yeah.
Wait, I always like to say it like this. He knew the atmosphere, how the line was. So that whole land was free. So he said, hey, yeah, grow here because I know this land here on this side because it butts heads of Tabor Hill and Round Barn.
Mm-hmm.
And so they did, and
did what?
They keep on growing and they build land on.
I don't, that long ago, I don't know that Rick had that picture in his head.
He didn't, but the
it,
owners did, and they said, hey, grow wine here on this base of next to Tabor Hill because I know all the land here. It might be the same over there.
Right. Growing conditions.
Growing conditions. I know the atmosphere. I know the conditions. I know everything. Keep on going.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that aspect of it.
I've heard the story a couple times. From other people. So
you may know more than I do.
That one I might know more on.
Yeah,
but still, that's how it went.
Yeah,
that's how it went. And so from there,
2017, and the Uptons were looking to sell, and Rick approached them, and full circle, 30 years later, he's back. Owns Tabor Hill, and
wow.
The sad thing is he owns the second oldest winery in the state of Michigan.
So he's the third now?
The largest. I said third largest. When we purchased it, we were the third largest. I'm not exactly up to date on numbers.
Right.
The oldest largest in the state of Michigan is St. Julian.
Okay.
Then it goes, the oldest largest in the state of Michigan is Tabor Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Since you guys bought it in Tabor Hill,
so
you're the second.
We became that number, once Round Barn and Yep.
So you are number 2
for the oldest.
The company.
Right.
The company,
yeah.
I give you
so largest quantity wise, I think we're third. I think it's St. Julian, Black Star, and us. Or
no, Black Star's not that big yet.
It's one of the It's one of the Travers wineries is up there. I know.
Travers is third.
Okay.
The oldest.
Not oldest. I'm talking about largest.
Largest. Largest.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Okay. I know the oldest goes St. Julian.
St. Julian, then us.
Tabor Hill.
Okay.
Then Black.
Okay.
I've had Black Winery is a good one.
Black Star Farms.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you ever been to the estate up there?
Yes.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful.
They just have different terrain than we do. It's gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
They've been at it for a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
the bad thing is they're only about. Can you admit they're only about maybe 5 years into it because they only get good 5 years growing everything because of how cold it gets so early.
Their growing seasons are definitely shorter.
Yes.
And that impacts what they can grow. Very much. The varieties that they can grow, like us down here, we're on almost the exact climate as Bordeaux.
I heard they own a lot of land mid-base.
They probably do. Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, you're forced.
That's why they're
if you can't grow what you need to sell in that area, you're forced to buy it from somewhere else, or grow it somewhere else.
Right.
And there's no option. I mean, if somebody walks in and they're expecting a Merlot and you can't grow Merlot, you better have a Merlot.
So here's a question for the Round Barn, since we're hitting the Round Barn a little bit more, is we have you.
Mm-hmm.
You have a wine person?
Yes.
That's head of wine and head of what else?
Brewery. Yep. So Sage Briggs is the winemaker. Mm-hmm. And then Malcolm Wyman is the head brewer.
Malcolm?
Yep. Malcolm. Yep.
I need to get those two on now.
Yeah, I'll work on it.
Otis, he's gonna work on
that.
Malcolm would be a fun conversation, but both of them would be a fun conversation.
I think both of them, because we need to know how to for him for wine, but
I'm not a big wine person.
I'd like to know
That's why you
about-
brought the spirits guy in.
Yeah,
I
I'm a
love
big
this.
wine person.
I love this. Actually, I love this atmosphere more right now because I love spirits, but man, this one here is
I'm
awesome.
definitely having fun right now.
I am too. We have one more.
Yeah, one more.
Oh, we got one more.
You don't have to drink. I'll pass them out. This is our newest RTD,
Paloma.
the grapefruit Paloma.
Oh, I'll drink it.
So you guys are doing tequila.
Yep. So I've
they had tequila. They had tequila for a while.
Well, I can't call it tequila. It's agave.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
All right.
Agave.
So
agave.
So that's one of the other spirits that I brought in myself, that I started working on myself. When I say brought in, is one of those that we weren't making before I took over the distillery.
I'm not drinking right yet. But
was interested in making an agave. We were kind of sticking on the line of like the mainstream spirits at that time, along with all the fruit brandies that we were doing. And so I started working with agave nectar and fermenting it. And
so where do you get that from?
I ordered from Mexico.
Okay.
Yep.
Because we can't grow that up here,
No,
can we?
no. And it's in a very, very extensive process. Like the plant itself takes years and years and years to produce a piña.
So is it because of the climate?
That's what.
But the maturity of the plant,
Right?
And then the
tequila, pretty much.
Yep. And then the breaking that plant down into usable liquid is
so
extensive.
I see how they cut down that plant. Actually, that thing is huge. So what part of that do you guys use?
So they take the piña and they actually like slice it, and they put it through like graters and machine. They have special machinery to do it, and they've been doing it for so long.
I'm not gonna taste mine yet.
But they've been doing it for so long that they have the process down in these machines that like press the juices out of the piña.
Yeah.
And there was a distillery in California that bought all the equipment. Could be wrong, like Hanger.
So
41.
They chop it.
They chop the.
How far do they chop it down? How many inches do they chop it?
Well,
down?
it's like
I'm really curious.
It kind of looks from what I've seen. I haven't done very extensive because I get the stuff and I do it. You know, it's a massive ball.
So it's like a coconut.
It almost looks like a coconut, but
how big though? Basketball?
Bigger. Yeah, about a basketball probably.
Size of basketball.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then they grind it down to a pulp.
That thing is huge.
Mm-hmm.
The plant wise.
But they grind it down. Well, it's a tree.
Yeah,
kind of
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But they grind it down to like a pulp and then press it, and it's a very extensive process. A distillery in California bought all the equipment to do it, and they gave up with it. Like spent millions on a
I'd get more than that one.
Get his can from him.
You can't.
You've got your own can.
I know. I don't want to open it yet.
This distillery in California bought all the equipment to do it, and they gave up millions of dollars worth of equipment and gave it up because it was a process that needed to be known how to do.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So, how long does it take to process all that stuff?
I'm not sure on how they do it.
No.
Nope, not. I don't know much about the actual processing of the plant.
I meant.
Once I get the nectar,
you
get me being wine-based background, I do well with getting juices and fermenting them, and so it was a pretty simple process. It's a couple-week fermentation, and then you distill it multiple times to get the product that you want, and then you dilute, you filter, those kind of things to get to clear. It comes off the still clear, but then you can start to barrel age it, which I just released my first barrel aging one this year. So over the years, I've been making extra of the clear and putting it in used whiskey barrels, used brandy barrels, that kind of thing. And so this year, I just released my first barrel aged agave as well. Yeah,
this is one of the best Palomas I had.
All right, so don't say anything.
So
I had one earlier. Thank you.
When you get Sage on the show, she's the mastermind behind the blends and the flavor configuration of the RTDs at the winery.
You gonna help me with that?
Yeah, I'll work on it.
Okay.
Yep.
That is really good.
Dude, this is awesome. Now, most Palomas are you taste just straight tequila.
See, so the canned world is a little different.
And it all depends on how All right. How do you make a Paloma?
I use an ounce and a half of tequila.
Yeah. Okay. Then go from there. On the whole basis of it.
Then you soda, the grapefruit juice.
Yeah. So this is.
May use a little Sprite.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, to give it a little spritz.
Yeah.
From there, this is actually true Paloma. How you just said that. This is phenomenal from here.
No, this is really good.
Actually, this is really good in the can.
Mm-hmm. So the idea of the canned
Yes.
world is you're not gonna. So there's two avenues you can go with the canned world. You can go seltzers, the low
Oh
sugar,
my god.
higher carbonation, that kind of thing, or you can go like the traditional cocktail in that can. And so we kind of like fell into the middle of where we wanted them a little less sweet than your traditional cocktail, that they would meet the seltzer world to an extent, but want the person who is also searching for a little cocktail. And so we found, I feel like, a happy medium, and we've done really well with them so far.
The seltzer world has grown.
It's massive,
exponentially, right?
Yeah, and it's that whole low calorie kick.
Yeah,
too.
We talked about this Monday.
We've talked about Monday.
Or a cider guy, the guy that came in.
Pete Cider.
Pete Cider.
Pete's, yep.
So he was going on about how cider, not the cider, but the seltzer industry has blown up big time, and it leaves little room for the cider industry.
Right, because the cider industry was the creation for well, it was cider industry was kind of the creation for breweries to compete with wineries,
right?
Because only breweries were allowed to make cider for a while.
It was actually,
and so that was their way to fight with wine. Well, now all of a sudden the seltzer world came in, and all of a sudden now they're taking over ciders, where they kind of like danced into that market. And now everybody's like, oh, low calorie, low flavor, like that's what they want. Man, staying up to date with the market of what they want, you need to be you need to be steps ahead.
It changes all the time.
Yeah.
And you guys, take my hat off to you.
Thank you.
You staying on top of everything.
We're trying.
You didn't take your head off.
Wait till I take my headphones off. But
all right, I'll give you that.
My man,
it's a lot.
Robbie, you're doing the big stuff, man.
It's a lot of work because you have to kind of like watch where you think the market's going, and if you don't jump on it right away, you're late. And I feel we were a little late to the RTD game, the drink cocktails.
Yeah,
but I felt
you're not. I think you're. I think it's right on. I think it's
the industry's shifting again. It's now
shifting,
but now we're going non-alcohol.
But
is kind of the way that it's not. Well, yes, we just released an NA beer.
You did it?
You did?
We did release an NA beer.
There you go.
Oh my god, did you really?
Yes.
I got high five on that.
It's good. But you have to jump on those trends the second they come out. If you don't, you're a year late.
No, exactly. But it's always good to be at least 6 months behind because everybody's tasting everybody else. And then all of a sudden you pop out of there. I know.
I just burped.
It's okay. I didn't call you out. You called yourself out on it.
I did it with silence.
You popped out on that. If you after a while you pop out on that 6 months later, phenomenal because everybody else is tasting everybody that's out there right now.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you come out. Yeah. You have a different taste. Try this one. Hey, how you doing?
There you go.
I'm still stuck on the gin.
I am too.
Did you notice how the market went though from White Claw with the malt based? Yeah. And then Truly jumped in, a few of those other big companies jumped in, and then
that's what I'm saying.
But then it all switched to vodka. Everybody wanted. Now we're getting away from the malt, and it went to vodka. So if you didn't catch that transition,
are you trying to say about Good Boy vodka?
No, I wasn't going there at all. No, I'm saying the
Good Boy vodka. Yes,
but I'm talking about the vodka seltzer. Sorry.
Yes.
That if you didn't jump on that wave right away, which they all did. Truly went vodka. White Claw went vodka.
Yeah,
there's multiple big ones. Good Boy came out of nowhere.
Not only that, now you have
Good Boy's local.
Not Good Boy, but long drinks.
Yep. I love those. I love a long drink.
You like a long drink?
I do too. It's a grapefruit.
That's
you
really
like
good.
Who's is better?
The gin base?
Yeah.
I've never had I don't know who makes the gin base for long drink.
I meant, who do you like? Your gin drink? If you can make something?
Yeah, I love my gin as a base, but it's like,
there you go.
But so I was joking, we had joked
ahead.
around when we were coming out with these RTDs of making a short drink or something, with a grapefruit juice.
You did.
It's a squirt. I think it's just squirt and gin.
You did it right here,
man.
The Paloma, yeah. They knocked it out of the park with the development on this. Yeah.
Actually, I'm keeping this.
But if you think about a gin based of seltzer, like a long drink, I don't see you going wrong with that.
I agree.
Gin and tonic.
I don't see you going.
Just straight a gin and tonic.
Can you make a gin and tonic can?
Yeah. Coppercraft up in Grand Rapids or Holland used to do it.
Coppercraft?
Yeah. Smaller distillery. And well, now it's not so small. It's owned by, I think, DeVos.
Using that gin right there.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
you got me hooked.
Just a gin and tonic.
Dude, a 4-pack. I'm taking on the golf course with a heartbeat.
Dude,
well, that's what my golf course. Heartbeat. My golf course is a gin gimlet.
Oh man,
yeah.
Dude, that is actually, good.
That actually
here. This one's staying here too. So
you
guys can fight over those.
That is good.
Pepper Rock says.
Oh, Pepper Rock says equally. Dude,
yeah, the plum
dude. Yeah. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem.
You schooled us in so much stuff, man.
I'm learning a lot more about how you guys produced it.
Mm-hmm.
That's spot on. I didn't know. I knew about wine.
There's layers.
I knew about moonshine. There's
layers to the industry, man.
I made my own moonshine.
How'd you distill it?
You did not.
You did not need to know.
Bathtub.
You did not.
I need to know how I get out my shit. Yes, I did.
You use a mason jar?
Fuck yeah, you use mason jars.
There's a lot of ways to distill.
You don't need to know.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah, you don't.
You have a still, but it's for essential oils, right?
No.
You made your own what? Moonshine?
Moonshine.
What do you call it?
Joe's?
Yeah, you're lying.
No, I'm serious.
I call bullshit.
I think you swear to it.
I don't
Once again,
swear.
Thank you. You just did it.
I don't want to swear to you.
Oh, he said I don't think swear.
You're full of shit right now.
No, I'm serious. I made my own moonshine.
No
one drank it.
Do you take high?
It was like fucking gasoline.
Do you take high proof and like flavor it, or what do you do?
Oh, dude,
like you actually run it through a still?
I went through through a still. I went through apples and through everything else. Okay. I tried to do the mash.
You filtered it through socks.
No.
Coffee filter. Perfect.
I did coffee. I tried coffee filter first time.
It's probably too thick to get.
No.
Yeah. Dude.
They were too thin. I bought the cheap ones. I bought the cheap ones because I tried it.
You made your own moonshine?
Yes.
I don't want to taste it.
No one did.
I don't want to taste it.
I could probably sell like gasoline. No, I only made one small batch.
Yeah.
But did you make cuts?
No,
I could get into whole. I can get into the whole.
I didn't do the cuts.
Part.
Okay. So the important thing.
Whatever they showed me on TV, that's what I follow.
I'll do a little PSA. When somebody goes to hand you taste my moonshine that I made, smell it, and if it burns way up in here, that means it has heads in it.
It did.
Okay, so you didn't make the heads cut,
dude. It smelled up here on me. So yes.
Yeah. So the most important thing of the process of distilling is making that heads cut. And that's all. So there's no scientific, yes, some of the bigger distilleries have equipment that can do it, but every single run that comes off the still and a heads cut, I am smelling it every single run. And so I can tell by the smell when the heads is gone. And then you get into your heart. That's the good stuff.
Yeah.
And so then the end comes, which is a bitter taste.
Where's the heart at?
The heart, depending on what
part of your nose.
It smells good. Like you're gonna get an alcohol burn, but not like a rubbing alcohol burn that's piercing up in the middle of your nose. But then coming down at the bottom end of the heart cut, you'll get your tails. And that stuff is bitter to the taste. And it's like a taste you can't get off your tongue. Yeah. And so we collect the tails and you can redistill those and get good heart out of it. But if somebody ever hands you a jar of mason jar of something and says, taste this, and you smell it first and it pierces up here,
don't drink it.
do not drink it.
I gotta ask you, how drunk are you when you leave?
Honestly,
Your own
I don't.
job.
I don't
Your own
drink.
job.
I have pictures of like what a Tuesday morning has looked like of tasting barrel proof stuff. But
I'm picturing it right now.
over the years, it loses its thrill. When I was on the winemaking side and I was 23.
Dude, he has a high tolerance.
Well, I was 23 years old and I was like filtering. I'm like, of course I'm gonna have a glass of wine with this. But like over the time, it's like, no, okay, I guess I don't need that, So really, we go through tasting. I'm so used to taste. Yeah, I guess I have a high tolerance. We go through tasting barrel strength stuff.
You have to.
But you're taking nips.
Yeah,
you're not taking big sips.
You're taking about a half ounce more.
Right. No, well, no, not even
that.
No, you're just getting your tongue wet.
Okay.
When you're tasting through those kind of things, because you're
like
going to burn out your palate so quick.
It's like when you taste soup.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't want to burn your mouth.
Thank you, James.
That was a perfect demonstration.
That was actually
sound effects.
I'd like it. The ASMR.
Actually, that spot on. Yeah.
So it just loses its thrill over time.
Yeah.
We shift drinks, those kind of things after work. They're like, oh, okay, I guess I go have a beer. You don't need it. No, I'm not saying you don't need it because I've been drinking during the day. It's just like I'm older. When I was 20 something, I'm older.
Yeah.
But when you're 20 something, you're like, heck yeah, I'm taking the shot.
Right.
I'm 43 and so
I'm only 5 years younger than you.
Yeah, you do that. You're 43.
No, I'm 45.
Why are you lying on the internet, man? Why are you lying, dude? I knew you weren't.
I was you called me out. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it. I was.
Wait a minute.
That's what
I should have called you out earlier. You said you're a similar age to my brother. So.
I went like this. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it.
Dude, you online lying.
The internet.
I don't care.
The internet doesn't forget.
No, you can pull this up anytime.
So in 20, or 2000, whatever, 98.
Nobody.
I'm showing my grandkids this.
Joe lied his ass off.
They're gonna be like,
my age? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I got the reason I did it.
I don't lie about my age at all.
You really want to know why? Because today someone said, I went to high school with you. I went, no, you didn't. I went to high school with you. No, you didn't. She said,
what's your point?
She said, you graduated in 1986. I went, no, I didn't.
Yeah,
I was 6 years old. Thank you for aging me about 20 years.
But you just lied on live.
Maybe
you lied. You lied.
Yes, I will.
Stop it.
At least
I'll lie about my age.
Stop it.
Lie about my age.
Oh, you're not. No, he's not 43. He's 45.
2 years.
Yeah, 45.
I'm 45 years old. I'm proud of it. Thank you.
No, you're not. You lied about it, you asshole.
Anyway, no, because this lady,
guys. Anyway.
Oh, we got.
At the end of it's the time. So the final thought.
So our final thought is.
You can give shout outs to anybody.
Shout out.
No, you can shout outs to anybody
or upcoming events or upcoming events that you guys are having.
Man, every weekend at the Round Barn's an event. We have live music all summer. It's great. I will hint at a release. I've got 4 new whiskeys coming out that have been me and my assistant. We've been busting up, but I can't release that.
You can't release that part.
No.
So come on out.
Joe,
Joe,
let me finish.
I thought about that well before if I should mention them, but they're going to be good. They're a little different than like the maple bourbon, bourbon forward. Ooh. These are sweet. Like
what day?
Joe,
we don't have a formal release day yet.
I already know that.
So keep up on the socials. Look out for those. They'll come out in socials. So.
Me and James will come out for it.
All right.
Me and James will come out for it.
You're gonna come out, hang out at the Bourbon Barn with me.
I'll do that.
All right.
I'll do that.
See, me and James will come out for you. I'll get them out. Me and James will come out for you.
You have my promise. I'll come out.
But both Tabor and Round Barn, man, they're good hangouts.
Yeah.
The sad thing is that's during the day, so you can still go to work.
No, dude, I don't like going to work like that.
You can take a nap before it.
What?
They open at what time?
Oh man, those keep changing.
11?
We're now in the season, so
Yeah, you're
weekend
Summer,
Saturdays
yeah.
11. I think Sunday's noon.
yeah. See 11.
Open till 7 Saturday.
So we can go at
Yeah.
11. We can
Get
drink
some
for an
lunch.
hour.
Get some lunch.
Get some lunch.
Oh, we got the food truck.
Yeah,
they got some good food.
they got
Grab
the
at the
food
food
truck.
truck. Yeah.
And then
Some pulled pork, chicken tender, or chicken wings.
you
and
can drop me back off, and then you can go home,
Of
take a
course.
nap. See, perfect.
Of course.
Yeah. See.
All right. Now
Thank
you
you.
go ahead.
Oh,
Let's round it up.
for you, Robbie. Actually, do you like being called Robbie though?
I do. So at
No,
a
go
young
ahead.
age, I went by Robbie. I went by Rob. I tried Robert. I tried them all.
Robert sucks.
It does.
It does suck.
Like,
it sucks.
You know,
I
I
didn't
felt
wanna
like I
call
was
you
in
something
trouble.
you didn't like to be called. But
No, I'm Robbie. It
Robbie?
just fits my personality. I feel
Yeah.
like, you know, I was a Rob for a little bit, and that's dry.
Well, it's like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
like,
all right.
No,
For you, Robbie, dude, you're a man of all hats. Like I say, like some people here,
many talents.
many talents from an extreme get-go person. God, sky's the limits for you on that one. Bam, topic.
He's calmed down. He plays golf now.
yeah, I do.
Yeah, he plays golf, dude. I'll go golfing with you in a heartbeat. Call me up.
Sounds good.
I'll go.
I'm in.
Will be $1 a hole.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, what kind of shit is that?
Because that's $20 at the end.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it keeps it affordable.
It's,
It's like a little bit of risk,
It's still
but
challenging.
It's,
but
tw-
at the same
it's
time.
$20 at the end.
and usually that goes towards the after.
And
golf beers,
then then you're gonna buy a beer.
Yeah.
afterwards, so yeah.
that shows you how
And
much
you
I
got
know
the
about
turn where whoever's down.
that. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah.
Come on. Keep going.
So, and for this all right here, dude, you thought of the bourbon maple? Sky's the limit for you. Oh my god, dude.
What about the other bourbon?
No, fuck that one.
That's the kind of we'll leave that to the
Sorry.
guys who know what they're tasting.
Go like,
It
fuck that
burns.
bourbon.
Fuck that. That shit burns. I need it on ice. I need it cooled down. I need everything else. Hey, shut up. It's my final thought, not yours. So, sky's the limit. Gin was phenomenal.
Thank you.
Gotta love it.
How's it go again?
Phenomenal.
Okay.
And this one right here.
Yeah, I do
And this
that.
right here.
It's recording right now.
This one is right here is awesome as well.
Thank you.
Drink it. Love it. Live it.
That one's available in Martin's.
Who is it?
Yes, the
Is it really?
all the RTDs are
There you
available
go.
in Martin's.
There you
Oh,
go.
The canned ones.
Martin's, you can find that shit.
Yep.
Love it.
We have
Dude, that was phenomenal.
4 other flavors.
Or the
Yeah.
flavors. Oh, nice. Very nice.
Now we're me
The
and James
gimlet
are
is
gonna
really
go.
nice. I like
Thank
the
you.
And
gimlet.
the gimlet, yes. And everything else, you live your happy life, family life, or respect it. Live it.
Thank you.
All right. My final thought, guys. Robbie, thank you for joining us on the show, first of all. Secondly, thank you for blessing us with all these different flavors of spirits.
Yeah, no problem.
Dude, you are a man of many talents. And not only that, you have a gift right here, brother.
It is.
You have a gift.
Thank you.
Yes.
You have a total. I mean, that gin blew my mind. We went through the other. I'm glad you introduced that stuff first.
Well, I
the
did.
bourbons
Yeah,
first.
it's the flavors is why I did it.
And then
Yeah,
the
sure.
gin, you just blew my socks off. My socks are over there right now.
Is that what smell?
Yeah. No.
Alright.
Yes. I'm smelling
You
it.
said yes. Yeah, Joe, whatever. but the gin is amazing, dude. I've never tasted gin like that in my life,
Thank you.
ever. And
Good point. Good point.
these canned drinks,
Dude, yeah.
amazing.
Phenomenal. I'm saving this one.
Just want to thank you, and not only that, keep doing what you're doing, brother. You're
Thank
doing a great job. I'm looking forward to more flavors that you're bringing out.
They're coming.
I know they are.
Yep.
And I'll be there to taste them.
Sounds
love to
good.
have you
And
back
Joe's
on.
gonna put my feet to the fire for that one.
Yes, I'm gonna
Yep.
try. God, if
So
I
I'm
can get you out,
definitely I'm getting out.
if I can get you out,
Joe, shut up.
get out.
I will get out. Anyway,
Can we have you back on?
Of course. I
Yeah.
love this.
How about
This is fun.
How about I would say November-ish.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. I'm in.
Bonus.
Yep.
So
Look at that.
to all the people that were watching, thank you for watching.
They were.
Anybody that's watching the YouTube, please like and subscribe. Not only that, hit the
I gotta
notification.
go do that. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I gotta like and subscribe. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You're not
please
the
hit
first.
the notification button so we can get them more stuff out there. And not only that, guys, thank you for watching. Appreciate it. But till next time, we got next week, Joe.
Oh wait, what? Oh.
Joe,
What?
what are you text? Who are you
shit.
texting?
Jeff. Oh shit! That's next week. That's
next
a whole new month.
That's next month. Next month.
Next month we have.
Anyway,
no,
got
Rick Redding. No, wait, no, we don't. We have
shit.
Sarah from Ycast. Y Country.
Ycast.
No, Y Country.
Look at you think.
No, I have her on her.
Breathe.
It's the port barrel bourbon.
No, it's the part
That's
that
the-
I'm gonna kill her last name.
Yeah, it's definitely that one.
No,
that killed him.
It's
The hunter.
it's the last name. I can't do her last name. Sarah from XY Country.
XY country
Yes.
or Y country.
No, Y Country. She
That's
was
what I said.
Wild Bill's backup.
Okay, you hear that first, guys. You gotta fill in the blanks if
Yeah.
Joe doesn't know the last name. But anyway,
I don't wanna
till next
kill her.
time, guys.
I don't want to.
Thank you for joining us tonight. 91st episode. Thank God, Joe.
What? I didn't do anything.
Yeah, of course you didn't. I want to thank Robbie Robbie Scudder. Joe, stop it.
What?
Not knowing anything.
Yeah, he's mad at me.
Anyway, thank you for joining us
Yeah,
tonight.
thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
What up?
Oh my God, you're done.
Give it up, mother podcast right
Guys,
now.
we get out of here. Get out of here, guys. We're out of here. See you later, guys. Later.
You dumbass.